Ryan with you across the state of Wisconsin. Welcome to December. Welcome to Bears Week. And welcome into No BS with myself, Billy Schmidt, alongside Armen Sarian. Luddy is here with us as well this morning, waking up before we carry the G with our friend Aaron Nagler after 9. You're at 877-794-1973 with us as well across the state of Wisconsin. What up, 1070? The game in Madison, the score in Appleton, Oshkosh. We'll welcome in our Cooley region friends later on. We welcome all of you in on the YouTube comments, on the X stream, the iHeartRadio app, however you may be consuming our product here today. We appreciate it and welcome you in because we have not been in this chair for a couple of days. Yeah. And Armen, it feels good to be back at home this morning.
Feels good to be back, Billy. I hope and trust everyone had a great and fulfilling Thanksgiving holiday with loved ones, with whatever you needed, with a lot of football, a lot of good storylines. Everybody ate. Except the Bucks, unfortunately. I did not like escaping from my half-consciousness stupor last night to realize the Bucks had blown their lead last night and lost to the Wizards. That was not a welcome sight to see. And I was scrambling to figure out how could this possibly happen.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I'm like, and I realized the way it could happen was Chris Middleton. I'm like, oh gosh,
with an absolute vengeance of saying, hold on,
yeah,
you wanted to send me where? Thanks a lot, I appreciate it, and I'll send you a couple of daggers on the way on out to your 9-13 record on 129.
Rough, and I kind of thought they were gonna, I thought they were gonna start rebuilding things with another win last night, and I think they were 2-16, the Wizards before that. Yep. So it's a little frustrating, but Chris is one of those guys that it's hard to ever feel any sort of disdain for. Chris is the perfect guy to have in an over 40 league. He's going to be able to do what he does best the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. Like Chris Middleton, obviously,
is he built for the big three?
He's absolutely built for big three. He's built for whatever trash talking like run you want to get at the YMCA going, or the LA Gear or the LA Fitness. Like those YouTubes, those videos I always see at the LA Fitness near you, what happens at the LA Fitness during pickup games, or those funny memes. So he's absolutely built for it, and him and McCollum and their other cast of random characters, unfortunately. That was a disappointing one last night, Billy. But it is good to be back with you here, and good to be talking with you again on a big week for everybody.
Luckily it's still football season, so we can keep our eyes somewhat away from the impending frustration and disappointment with the Milwaukee Bucks, because we were really excited the first couple of weeks. Now Kevin Porter Jr. back in the fold.
That's a big thing. I think
that's good.
Especially
get some of that mounting, get some of that optimism rolling. Maybe play Brooklyn 15 times, so it would help us a lot.
See, but
I thought that would be the same thing with the Wizards.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But it will be nice to get KPJ back. I always thought he was going to be a big part of this thing, and he hadn't played basically the whole time. So I don't know. Maybe the Torian.
It probably potentially takes Ryan Rollins out of taking 25 shots a night, which again, I really appreciate Ryan Rollins' contribution to the basketball team. I don't know that that's a solvent way of playing hoops in 2025, but hey, we get to learn. We get to learn through 2025 and 2026 all together, and it is something that we learn together how the Bucks are going to try to piece together points on a given night.
Indeed, and somewhere Jordan Nwora is really pissed off. I could have taken all those shots. Like somewhere Jordan Nwora, who's all about volume scoring and volume shooting, somewhere Jordan Nwora is saying, I think he's in Serbia or something.
That sounds right.
I could have taken at least all these shots. If you needed a guy to be like a mid guard but at high volume, it could have been me. It was my turn. That was my turn.
Is saying somewhere,
Rashad Vaughn. Yeah.
Why was I not drafted in 2023 instead of 2013? I was hoping one of those Wizards guards that was young and flashy and upstart that I'd never heard of before. I was wondering if one of them was going to be, AJ Johnson. Instead, no, coach's decision. Bears.
How about that? Of all the guys that beat you, it wasn't even him.
At least that didn't feel nearly as worse.
That made me feel good. Absolutely.
Yes,
Billy.
At least it wasn't the former piece of the former first round pick for the Milwaukee Bucks doing it to you last night.
Kravena Zvezda.
I got his jersey.
Yeah, no, that's what the team he's on.
He showed the greatest.
I thought
that was Jordan Nwora. I thought that was my man last night who was dicing up the.
No, this is the team. I swear to you, CRVENA.
Yeah.
ZVEDZA, and the second word isn't even capitalized.
Listen, man, those Slavic words, man, are
they're
tough
winning
sometimes.
Over there.
Yeah. But listen, I thought, like you said, Billy,
I bet they got great vodka over there.
Oh gosh, are you kidding me?
I hope so.
Slivovitz, like whatever flavored liqueurs they have, vodka and stuff like. No, you were thinking of Tristan Vucevic or Bilal Kilulubi?
It was Bilal.
Bilal.
I was more frustrated with.
Yeah.
There's also a cat on their team legitimately named Bub. And
Yes.
that's when you know you've reached a different level of not giving a bleep.
Bob Carrington. Dude.
Bub Carrington coming on me. He only had 7 points. One of the few guys on the bench that didn't go off for double digits against the Bucks last night. But that frustration and misery is on one side of the coin.
Right.
Luckily, hope and optimism and excitement is on the other. And we get a little disdain and vitriol and frustration and anger because we get to Bears week. And then all your emotions are allowed to be felt as a Green Bay Packers fan, because this is one of the best 2 weeks of the year. And while we were on assignment yesterday,
yes,
I was lucky enough to have the assignment of sitting with my young 2.5-year-old, nearly 3-year-old son.
What a blessing, right?
Great time.
Wow,
Great
man,
time.
he's growing up.
It's pretty wild.
What a great
pretty
kid.
wild, and
yeah.
especially when he knows how to tell you to, shut up. He's learning earlier and earlier how to
calls the shots.
I don't know where Miss Rachel taught him that one, but that is what it is.
It's the wrong video.
And I had a really warming moment yesterday where not the fact that we're in the potty training phase, and that warming moment that happened a little later on in the time.
Literally, yeah.
But he said, "Daddy, I want to watch Bears Packers."
Come on now. Come on, let's go.
I get ready for game. I said, well, buddy, we're going to get ready all week long for this one.
Does he put the full pads on and the helmet and everything like
Yeah,
that?
the little Franklin's
outfit, yeah.
Halloween shoulder pads on.
That Franklin one was the best one ever.
Through the my wife's old, when she was a toddler, Reggie White jersey on.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Asked if Reggie White still played for the Packers. We meandered around that conversation.
Sure, that's tough.
And then we reached the point where I had to put on a Bears-Packers game. And luckily for my entire lifetime, pretty much every single one I could think of was not only a victory, but a rather resounding and somewhat celebratory moment.
Yeah.
In thanks in large part to Brett Favre, to Aaron Rodgers. And as I was looking in the optimistic eye of my soon-to-be 3-year-old toddler son, who sadly witnessed the Packers lose to the Bears last year, I wonder if Jordan Love is going to carry the torch as to what those two predecessors did of just beating the absolute out of this opponent to our south.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Armen, as I was going through and seeing Rex Grossman, Kyle Orton, something called Todd Collins.
Oh, yes, Todd Collins, who came in back
before Caleb Haney.
Yeah, before Caleb.
Obviously, Jay Cutler and company, who they trade for and they find, and Mitch Trubisky won Rookie of the Year or won a division as the rookie quarterback one time.
Never forget.
I don't know, and I need the folks at 877-794-1973 to probably help us out here. I don't know that I had to watch the Packers and Bears with the rivalry potentially getting as good and hot as it looks to be on the upward trajectory of being here in 2025. Man, I didn't see a whole lot of times the ticker said 8-3 and 8-3, 9-3, 8-3-1, as it will be on Sunday. We definitely haven't seen both sides have, let alone above average passers, what look like legitimate franchise quarterback guys, where Jordan Love's playing as one of the top 7 players at the position this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers don't indicate it, but winning football games does. Caleb Williams has something on that other side that I don't know I have seen or we have in a Bears quarterback in a very, very long time. Sid Luckman, anybody listening to us remember those days?
The 1 year of Eric Kramer.
You can call us at 877-794-1973 and tell me, well, I was wrong. But I don't really know that there has been one, as I went through a litany of different Bears Packers games in 20-minute highlights vignettes yesterday. I don't know that it's been this potentially at different points. It was obviously spicy. There's a trip to the to the Super Bowl on the line there. I understand. I think we kind of exclude that one. But from where we can look for the next 5-10 years, man, this rivalry looks like this is going to be the first of a really, really hot run. And maybe it did start last year when the Bears feel like they finally got themselves one, when they get their first win for the interim coach on the road last week of the year, get a lick back, surprise the pack, even though they weren't necessarily taking the game as probably intense as you should. It feels like right now, Armen, this has got an opportunity to get incredibly awesome over the next couple of years because, listen, a rivalry and a rivalry, if one team's just taken the other to the woodshed for the last number of years, feels like my son Carson's life is going to be a whole lot different in this Bears-Packers rivalry than maybe it has for my 31 years on this earth.
It's possible, and obviously things can change quickly in this league, Billy, as you know. So things we prognosticate to happen, you mentioned Trubisky rookie there, don't always turn out to be the way it is. But let's be honest, the Bears have been completely and utterly dominated by the Packers in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, the mid-2000s, the Bears had it going pretty good with Lovey and Urlacher and that group, and the Packers were kind of rebuilding. Other than that, the Bears would have runs here and there. Like you talk about 2010, obviously, with Lovey Smith. Like they went to the NFC Championship game, Bears-Packers. Like that would be the example of two teams that kind of collided on that collision course in the NFC Championship game, had a big moment together. But it wasn't like very sustained stuff by the Bears. They had moments with Cutler. Mm-hmm. Cutler was one of their probably, even though for all the buffoonery and mistakes and things that Cutler did wrong, he was their most talented guy that they've had that position for a long time. There's no doubt about it. Then you get through like the Trestman and John Fox years, which were bad. And they had like Barkley starting for a year. Trubisky, obviously that experiment. It sure seems like, and I don't think we would have been saying this 2 months ago, but it sure seems like you're right, that there could be something brewing for both teams in that collision course. And for the Bears, maybe with Caleb Williams. Now, whether or not it's smoke and mirrors or not, I think the Eagles' victory has quieted some of those things, some of those accusations a little bit, and deservedly so. The Bears have talent on all across the team. They have talent on both sides of the ball. I'm still not necessarily 100% convinced on them, but they're obviously a force to be reckoned with. And Caleb Williams does have something there, whether it's just a building confidence and burgeoning belief in himself or his ability to take the team down and win late. That's one thing. Whether it's to be a consistent great player in this league, that's another thing. We're not really sure yet, right? But we do know this. When the Bears won last year, it was the first time in 11 games. Now, that's pretty remarkable. When you're talking about NFL rivals, this is the NFL where the margins are thin. You shouldn't be ripping off 11 in a row against anybody. And the Packers were able to do that, right? So it's been a remarkable level of domination, yet Bears fans still find a way to talk, which is funny. But it's been a remarkable level of domination the Packers have been able to put on the Bears. And then you had last year where the final game where things might be changing. Now, the Packers didn't need the game at the time, but it did feel like a little bit like, what's going on here? We shouldn't have lost this game. And the Packers did. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens now this coming weekend. And then obviously, again, right, whoever wins this game, they're going to have to come right back in 14 days and do it again and look at it and say, okay, the job's not necessarily finished. Yeah, validate it, right? And then have that game in between. So it's pretty interesting how the schedule makers have made that. It's funny, Billy, because when you talk about new and burgeoning eras, I think about the way Jordan Love's whole career as a starter started. And that was with an opening day win at Soldier Field. That was, I think, my first indication, a lot of others, because I think the Packers were up 7-6 at the half. So he didn't know what was going to happen. And then he dominates the second half with some great plays, great throws. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. We got a dog here.
Yeah.
We might have a dog in this situation.
Walker takes a pick six back. And then he ended up running away in that opener. And it did feel like, oh, hold on.
We might have a player.
Big Brother's still over here to patrol the yard. And you guys can still have your bleep Green Bay chance at whatever DePaul basketball game you want. But still know that when push comes to shove on Sunday, that it's going to be a different story. You mentioned the 11 in a row and Matt LaFleur not losing to that team. Ben Johnson obviously dropped the gauntlet with his opening remarks of saying, I did enjoy beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Well, we'll see if that ends up being the case coming up on Sunday. Yesterday, Matt LaFleur was asked by that Green Bay press corps how he felt about Ben Johnson's statements over the summer, how many times he thought about him over the offseason. Not much. Hear more from Matt LaFleur as we continue on the show, as we go into Bears Week. Dan in Wausau. Good morning, BS. Is everybody ready for Big Brother Green Bay to remind Little Brother Chicago that Green Bay still owns the North? Well, Dan, here's the thing. I don't know that can necessarily be held true because the Packers have not owned the North over the last couple of years. They've not won the division over the last couple of years.
The North they haven't owned. They've owned the Bears.
They've owned Chicago, number one. Now, the team that has owned the North, the Packers owned twice in 2025, so they got the easiest way in the pathway to holding those papers and cashing in that pink slip, and you actually get the title. But there's two big-time roadblocks on the way to that DMV, and you can't just go online like Armen Sarrian finally did in 2025.
Yeah.
You got to go to the establishment. You got to get through two different construction sites. The Chicago Bears, one on 294 and one on I-90. You got to be able to run through both of them. And we'll see if the Bears are the ones doing a lot of the running. You mentioned that Eagles game. Over our little couple of days off in the long weekend, I still think we saw a lot of football.
A lot of it.
We saw a lot of private planes.
A lot of them.
A lot of private
tarmacs.
planes. A lot of Marty Smith. Shout out Marty Smith. Great weekend for Marty Smith.
Has been working so hard.
Also seems like maybe the coolest, nicest human being of all time.
Very much. I remember when he was at the Cooper Flag events up in Maine.
Yes.
I love every time Marty Smith does
a
show like that.
Marty Smith becomes the coolest guy, but also is the nicest guy in the room.
And he seems to let that go into his reporting. He likes to the positive. He knows what it's about. I like what he's about.
That's why apparently he drove all over the road and all over Mississippi to try to get to that tarmac before
he's old
Lane
school.
Kiffin hopped on that jet and went to Baton Rouge.
And it paid off. He got the interview, right? I mean, he's old school. I love
and
Marty
a lot
Smith.
of memes.
Yeah.
And a lot of memes.
Hey,
we saw a lot. However, I still think one of the most impressive things that we saw over the last 3 days of football has been this Bears offense and that Bears rushing attack.
Yeah.
Going to Philadelphia. And whether it was Kyle Monangai going for 100, DeAndre Swift going through for 100, the running through something, that roadblock needs to be the Packers' rush defense that got a little hampered against Detroit. Very interesting game, and all of it to discuss throughout the next couple of days as we're into Bears week. It's Bears-Packers. It is the oldest rivalry in pro football. Dare I say the best rivalry in all of sports? I know there was a lot of glazing on that Michigan pregame show that was Big Noon Kickoff on Saturday, that is the best rivalry in all of sports. This one gets its opportunity on Fox this weekend to showcase its muscle and is America's Game of the Week and maybe the biggest coverage map of the year. I think it just might. 877-794-1973. Test your pulse, Packers fans. How you feeling going in to Bears-Packers on Sunday? It's No BS. Welcome back at 877-794-1973 right here on the game.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. Drew and KB are talking sports and stuff every weekday from 2 to 6.
We welcome one of our favorites. Bear fan Bob is on line one.
Caleb Williams. I'm still not a big fan, guys. Make no mistake about it.
Yes, aren't you the guy who called him Caleb McNown?
And nothing has changed. If the Packers want to do us a favor, put them out of the game and put in Tyson Bagent, and this game will be over very, very quick. That's how good that. Oh, when the Philly game, the numbers are the numbers. Caleb McNown makes 36 attempts and only completes 17. And if you look at the passes, and I watched this very closely, the passes are behind, they're low, they're this, they're that. They're not really on target. I'm sorry, for a first-round draft pick in the draft, there's no excuse for that. But I also think our new coach, Ben Johnson, is a freaking genius. It's been a long time since I've seen a little testosterone in that Bears locker room. Kind of like Mike Ditka had a lot of testosterone in his mustache. This guy's got about the same thing. So we're going to really find out what's going on. Now, I also think the Bears need to double team Micah Parsons. He's a really good player for you guys. He can change the game. But if they double team him and this 2 running back set, now the 1 running back at the time on the field is kind of average. A 2 running back set like I saw on Friday, that's a little bit different story. I saw that. I haven't seen that for 40 years on a Bears team, and I went, oh, look at this. You get both these guys blocking, or one of them blocking for the other one, then that's different. And Kyle Monangai, this kid's the real deal. He's bigger. He's stronger, and I think he's even faster than Swift. So look to see for him as one of the key in this game. And also, look, I think he's a safety or a cornerback for our team. His name is Wright. He's not a real well-known player, but he's one of these guys who's just a ball hawk. He's the one who, on Friday, stopped their Philadelphia, what is it, the tush-push thing?
Yeah.
Got the fumble out on Jalen Hurts. I like people like that can stop the tush-push. I think Green Bay did it, too, when they were playing him. Got in there and got a fumble, and I just thought that was totally awesome. Anything to stop Philadelphia is just fine with me. And you're talking to somebody who was at the double dunk game. I was close enough to hear it. And I was also at the playoffs in 2001 when Trotter dropped Jim Miller on his head and put us out of the playoffs then. That was, a little bit of history. Never mind. So those are kind of my thoughts. Like I said, I don't know. I think the Bears are going to eke this one out, but I don't really know.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app. We'll be right back on The Game.
One of our greatest and most glaring deficiencies is the failure of us in this country to give high priority enough to scientific education and to the place of science in our national life.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
And I will promise you that every word that you have said here will be reported in the United States. I have my doubts.
For a variety of tips, including a mortgage reality check to help homeowners safeguard their properties during the current mortgage crisis and in the future, visit housinghelpnow.org. That's housinghelpnow.org, a public service from the NFCC.
Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back, hit as he throws, has the ball, and it's a touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise, a franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers, and can be heard on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
If I could find you now, things would get better. We could leave this town and run forever. I know somewhere we'll be together. Let your waves crash down on me and take me away,
No BS with you, Billy and Sarian, skating back at full strength and skating onto the roadways. Be careful this morning.
Skating, hopefully not
wild.
Skateboarding with a little yellow card. Thank you.
Yeah, Brady Street was a little dicey this morning coming down it.
It's
Dicey.
been dicey. Yeah, the snow situation's been dicey. Everyone be safe. Just enough of a coating last night to make it dangerous. I saw some cars in ditches. I saw some people helping others, which I like to see. But Billy, it's been bad everywhere.
You actually?
Ohio and someone was helping somebody out there. Yeah, there were people outside looking at each other.
We got some good Samaritans in this state.
They were looking at it. They were looking at it. At least they were. Someone was like getting out the look.
That looks like that's a lot of work.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called you out on that.
I don't care. I did. It was on Leighton, but they could have just been looking.
Oh, so you actually did see somebody pulling over to help somebody in a ditch?
I saw someone pulled over to help somebody. I'm assuming, unless they were both involved.
Way nicer than I.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Even me, I'm not stopping up. First of all, I can't help. I don't have a tow truck.
That's true.
What am I?
I got no skills.
Yeah,
if this is a Liam Neeson situation, I have a specific set of skills.
Right.
I have no skills. I have a cell phone. I'm guessing you do too.
Right.
But if you don't know your your login for AAA, I don't think that we're going to be able to help very much.
That's it. And it's just like,
Reset password, son of a bitch.
I got my exactly. Can you imagine that situation?
Why is your roadside at 20 degrees?
Then you're calling and they call and they have to call the dispatch because it's a national number to some guy local on his cell phone driving around, hooking up guys in his truck. I mean, it's that situation.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. So
sweet. Okay.
yeah, it is what it is.
I know you're on Highway 16. I'll be there.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're not actually as connected as we think, but yeah, I mean, I don't have snow chains in my trunk right now to hook up and help people out of ditches and stuff
Does the
like
Kia
that.
even have a hitch on the back end?
I think it does because I got the old Sport Edition or whatever, something like that. But I never
He's got
use
the
it.
towing edition.
I might as well get one of those things to put on it with like a Packers logo or something like that. Because what am I going to do with it, Billy? Let's be honest about the
You get
situation.
a Packers flag hanging out their passenger window.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just the car flag.
By the baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? Letty?
Yeah, you can't do it on that
With
side.
that opening there and the wind whipping back. Come on. No,
I can't do
Less than learned,
You
boys.
can't
Got
be
it.
changing up the air pressure in the cabin like that.
No, I can't add. I
Baby
could
on board.
Well, I got the baby on board sticker. I could add another sticker. That was an interesting.
Packers fan on board.
Packers fan on board. I like that a lot.
Bucks fan on board.
Lena's been learning to snap the ball, hike, run, and throw. She's been learning these, so it's important. But Billy, yes, be safe out there. Take it slow, as we know. Everybody that thinks they run the world because they got 4-wheel drive, you don't. All right, you just gotta still take it slow. And I saw it was in Louisville or Ohio this morning. A bad storm. They're getting it too. So
well, it is fun to watch. And granted, I thought there was way more snow on Saturday than I had anticipated. And I don't know if I was the only individual that waited after doing Badger post game on Saturday. I cleared out the two lines. A one tire track for the left side of the car, one tire track for the right side of the car.
That's right.
Got myself out, got myself to the station for Badger post game. Wish that we would have seen a celebratory axe game. Instead, we were still looking for offense.
Man, I thought it was going to happen too.
If you can't move the ball, you're not going to score.
That's a good point.
And if you can't throw the ball, and then you do throw the ball with the backup quarterback, and then you throw the ball to the other team, that becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it became a big issue for a team that needs to take the ball away, to turn the ball over twice, not take it away. Big issue. However, fought hard. Good close to the season. Proud of you guys. I was very, very in and out. Damn, it was like over a foot that we got here in the Greenfield area.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I saved all of that happy work for Sunday morning. Your boy was hurting.
That was a mashed potato snow, bro.
That was some serious powder that we got dropped here over the weekend.
That was high water content. High water content.
And as much as I do enjoy, because I did send you the video of, I think it was Louisville, struggling with a snowfall and really trying to figure out how on earth they handle this stuff that is falling from the sky that is white. We don't get it. We can't drive. We can't move.
Yeah.
We have sand. Does that work? No.
Not as well.
What if I just put like some chains on these tires? Will that work? No. It's got to drive a little slower. You drive too slow, though, you're in a big deal. So I do enjoy watching people that don't get snow try to roll through the snow.
Right.
Dude, I felt like that on Sunday because as I fired up that snowblower, your boy was hurting. That was some real stuff. You called it mashed potatoes?
It was mashed potatoes. Yeah.
With sour cream in them things because that thing was thick.
You are just basically, you put the cream in there and you mix it around. It's like you're shoveling water. Now, the thing is, Billy, you get the snowblower fired up, which is good, but, you had to do it. That was the type of snow because it lasted over like 24 hours. It long and steady. And the next thing you know, you got 13 inches. It's crazy. Long and steady. And so I went out 3 times, Billy. Now, I'm not trying to sit there and say I'm a hero or anything like that.
Look at you. Okay. Oh, so you were prepped. I like that.
Well, I'm like, I got to get out here early and make sure this snowblower works.
Got to be ahead of the game.
And at least I wanted to cut down on it a little bit because if you waited till the end like you did, it might have been a little tougher. But you made it through, I'm assuming. The snowblower made it through, but it was struggling. I mean, I'm still sore. I'm not trying to be a hero here, but I'm still sore from all the – because you still got to shovel the edges and the walk.
You got to clean it up a little bit. You got to throw some salt down. No, and I definitely did let everyone know about it. I let everyone know I was quite sore yesterday.
Huge victory lap.
Oh, golly.
Oh, man.
Every time off the couch. Oh, I don't know. Still hurting from that.
Sending a lot of Snapchats to Laura while I'm out there. Like, look, I'm doing this. Like, look at it. It's happening.
I can see you through the window.
We got some big windows.
Got the John Deere running. I figured it out. Figured it out.
So that was your first run with the snowblower. So I do appreciate you did it yourself.
Did it myself. I had
you did not wait for a neighbor to come over who enjoys blowing snow.
No, but he was huge.
Throw it around.
He was a huge help to show me there's a couple ways to turn on the John Deere 828. So that was the pull start.
Oh, that's
or
the
you
worst.
can plug it on in.
The plug it in. So he's like, he's like, this is easier. Just do it. And then I got the feeling like he was salivating at the snow. Like I could do your driveway too, but he didn't want to take it away from me. Like that was your first moment type of thing. You got to learn how to do it yourself. So that was really nice. And there's something nice to have everyone out there together, on the street doing the same type of thing. But I think he waited till the end also. I was out there doing it in like swaths. He was like, but I think for him, it's like saving up for dessert type of thing.
Yeah, see how much you can do.
He was like, I want to save up for dessert. I want to get it all done at once. So it was quite the ordeal, but we got it done. We worked together and got it done. So.
I also, as waiting, I again did not think that it was going to be as much. Now, I probably should have listened and cautioned myself to all of the reports. When you see, variations between like 9 and 19 inches,
it's a huge range.
I'm going to always guess it's probably going to be 6.
I mean, that's quite a Tinder profile. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know what I mean?
And then I actually did bust out the tape measure. My wife goes, why do you need that? I was like, I actually got to see how much snow.
Me too. Same thing. She's like, do you want to brush it off the top of the lead? I'm like, no, that's what I'm going to measure.
I got to see how much we actually got here.
So I just started screaming 13 inches into the house, which was interesting.
It was incredible, dude. I did not think over a foot of snow before we hit December.
It was wild, man.
877-794-1973. Random Jim. Just keep removing, boys. There's a guy in Random Lake that stopped to help, and that car was rear-ended, and he lost both legs. True story. So is that saying?
Okay.
So is that saying
That's tough,
don't pull over to help the car out?
You're kind of doing the other. Yeah, you're kind of discouraging me from pulling over. I don't want that to happen.
Or
let's get professionals.
Get over there, help them out.
Yeah.
Get them into a safe location, into your car. Call a professional. Then rear-ended it. All good, all safe and sound in that spot.
I remember I'm going to tell a story. Okay, so driver's ed in high school. We had it in high school. Some you could do it outside. Some you could do it within the high school class. This is 2002 or 2001.
You're probably right on the back end of having it in class.
Right, probably, because I don't think that happens much anymore, right? But it was fun. It was our football coach, Mr. Fleischer, great driver's ed instructor, real intense. Like he would get us kind of, this is serious business.
What is this 8-sided thing?
Right. He would he had a lot of great ways to teach it. I appreciated it. Anyway,
the acronyms.
The deal. He said, here's what I want you guys to do. If you see someone out there to help, all right, someone out there, pull over. I want you to be able to have the instinct to help, but I also want you to stay safe. So I want you to pull up. This is what he was telling us. Pull up, keep the car in gear, and ask if you need me to call someone for you. That's how you help somebody while staying safe. And he goes, a lot of you guys are going to start having cell phones now. This is going to be a thing because this is like 2001. Not everyone had a cell phone yet.
Great prediction.
You're all going to have cell phones. You're all going to be able to call from the car. So, because back then you had to buy a pay phone or go
for
find
sure.
somebody.
Yeah.
So that was his recommendation. So there is ways we can help and stay safe as well.
I do also like that Mr. Fleischer.
Yeah.
Was like, don't get yourself out of it. Don't be doing any of that nonsense.
Nah, he was the best.
You got bigger fish to fry, but say, hey, y'all good?
Yeah.
Sweet, I'm about here.
Right. He was the best. I loved his
How you
method
doing?
of teaching.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's some good advice. I also thought I don't know if it was the same when you started the driver's ed. I don't know where they found some of them videos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
The videos.
Those like horrific, gory,
terrible,
graphic, just life-altering, memory-staining videos of like, okay, you know what? I won't be texting when I drive.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you drive 110 miles an hour.
Yeah, probably shouldn't do all that stuff.
Yeah, or you can just look at the Georgia football team, 877-794-1973. Justin in Jacksonville. This Packers-Bears game comes down to one thing. The Packers need to come out with their piss hot.
I like that.
The Bears could run the ball 50 times on Sunday if they don't stop it. I really think the run game is going to be a massive part of this one. And when you see how the two teams reshaped their rosters in the offseason.
Yes.
One part of, we talked a lot last year of the shades of competence that were coming out of Chicago, and we didn't necessarily love it.
Didn't like it. That concerned us greatly.
Then even though Caleb started playing poorly at times last year, showed glimpses of greatness, especially in like those little 2-minute drives, you saw how wild their operation was and saw that it was still somewhat dysfunctional. But remember when he first came in and people were calling it the greatest incubator for a rookie quarterback and a number 1 overall pick that you ever could have for a rookie season.
Sure.
A lot of those guys didn't leave. And then they brought in 3 guys on the interior of their offensive line. Drew Dahlman, the center from Atlanta, the most noteworthy. He was the number 1 center on the free agent market. They trade for Tooney from the Chiefs. And dude, they have completely rebuilt that unit up there. And Darnell Wright, their old first-round pick at right tackle, can move people. And that is a totally different style of play than what they had a year ago. And man, credit to not only the front office for seeing how Johnson wanted to play, but maybe for Ben Johnson leaning in on him saying, hey, if we're going to have this work and all of this is going to work and the quarterback's not going to get thrown into the deep end every single moment, we got to solidify these 5. And they've hit because they are working extremely well together. And that was one of the best offensive line performances from the entire league all year in Philly on Friday.
Yeah, especially from a running game standpoint. And you said all the changes they made, Billy, personnel-wise, and it's true. And I think, obviously the biggest one is, Eberflus is not their coach anymore, right? So that helps that in terms of the incubator. They have the talent there. And I also think there was a realization from Ben Johnson at some point to say, Caleb Williams, because a lot of it was, the comeback victories, the 2-minute stuff, the off-schedule stuff that he was performing in. Caleb Williams is not what I came from Detroit with, which was Jared Goff, which was structure, rhythm, can hit receivers all day in pocket, in rhythm, in structure. He was a different type of guy, and he had to kind of realize that. So he's probably leaning into the running game more than I think he initially thought he wanted to as an offensive play caller. I could be wrong about that. But when you have a line like this and you have 2 guys that are running the ball this well, I think it's a good idea because the league is inviting it in many ways, right? The way defenses are playing, you can run the ball better now if you have those big boys up front that are performing well, and you can control clock better, control the game. And I think for Ben Johnson, he probably feels like I can put my fingerprints on controlling the game a little more when I kind of run the ball more and don't leave it up to Caleb having to throw the in rhythm and figure out the pocket, figure out the reads. So, and then let Caleb cook late in game, which is this formula has been working for the Bears. And then it bred confidence, right, Billy? It bred a belief in themselves that once that confidence started growing, when they started winning games, whatever way they were winning them, they started saying, oh, we're good now. Like, we can do this, and we expect to do this. I think you saw that come to a culmination, the Eagles, where they walked in saying, we should start playing well. We expect to win well. And if we run the ball well and control the line of scrimmage, which a lot of people hadn't done with the Eagles all year, and they kind of got an Eagles team.
A tall task.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good front.
An Eagles team that was kind of, okay, now they're right back to their teetering on the edge, teetering on the cliff again situation, and you got them at the right time, and they got it done. What I think is interesting, too, about this impending matchup, Billy, is that the Packers and Bears play each other again in 14 days after it. So how will each coach approach that in terms of what they're going to show? Are they going to try and do all they can just to win this one game and then worry about game 2? There's a lot of chess matching going on there, I would think. And how much, you put all your emotional energy. Look, in the NFL, every week, you put all your emotional energy into winning that week's game, and then you restart it and focus on it there. But we're going to be back in this situation. This game feels like the biggest game of the year, and right now it is. We're going to be right back in that situation no matter what the result is in 2 weeks, saying this one's just as big. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams handle it, both coaches handle it.
That's a great point. And that one in 2 weeks might even be a quicker turnaround, at least initially scheduled as a Saturday game on Fox, like a doubleheader leading into Christmas. That's why I had thought the Packers were going to play Christmas Day.
Yeah.
They are not playing Christmas Day. They might be playing the Ravens on the next Saturday coming up. But just like a weird oddity in the schedule, you get later into the year, things always do change up. That's an interesting part of it, Armen. How much can you, if you can at all, save some things and hold some things back? Or do you just throw the kitchen sink, especially as the home team out there, to try to grab whatever win, because you're going to need to get at least one of these.
At least one. And is it worth even trying to think about that? Because so much can change anyway in terms of game planning and what's going to happen in the game, right? Balls bouncing, things like that. So is it even worth worrying about that? Should you just put 100% into all your resources to try and win the first game, just knowing that we're going to have to do this every week anyway? So every game's a new animal. It's just, I'm curious. LaFleur's been a head coach now for a while. Ben Johnson hasn't. How are both going to handle that? So
877-794-1973. More on the talking text line. A lot of good ones. Scott and Aaron, Ron and Stalis. Got to cast the thousands on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Mike Yam with NFL Network now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 13 of the NFL season came to a close Monday night in Foxborough with the Patriots beating the Giants 33-15. When Patriots quarterback Drake May threw for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns, Patriots wide receiver Hunter Henry was targeted 6 times, had 73 yards receiving in the win. Elsewhere, Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert underwent successful hand surgery on his left non-throwing hand to stabilize a fracture he sustained in the team's win over the Raiders on Sunday. The status for Monday night's game against the Eagles considered day-to-day and will be determined later this week. Colts corner Sauce Gardner underwent an MRI and revealed a calf strain sustained in Sunday's loss to the Texans. And the team hopes he can return during the regular season as the injury is not considered to be long-term. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com. 1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss the metamorphosis of a song as years pass.
I mean, the interesting thing about a song and the metamorphosis of a song is that you spend, I don't know, let's say you spend 2 months making a record and you put out a song, it becomes permanent in people's minds. You know, it's like if you go and see Dylan play, and the songs they're going to play of Dylan are going to be Blown on the Wind and those versions that he cut in 1965. Meanwhile, that guy's had years of playing the same song, and it's become a different thing for him, and he's learned how to rearrange it and play it in a place where he's more comfortable, or it's metamorphosized itself naturally into being something different. And that's what happened with these songs too.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
Parrott strikes out Gibson, scored! The Milwaukee Admirals are back home on Wednesday night when they host the Iowa Wild at Panther Arena. Through the crease to the bottom of the far circle, scored! Ryan Ufko! Pre-game coverage at 6:30, face-off at 7 on Fox Sports 920 and the iHeartRadio app.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold. From the land of
the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Coming down in buckets, raining cats and dogs. Bring your umbrella when it rains, it pours. Bumper to bumper traffic, ain't it just the worst?
Welcome back on the game. It's no BS. Armen, have you seen anything as hideous and as bad, as ugly as our man Younghoe Koo yesterday trying to kick that field goal in what at the moment was a 17-7 Monday Night Football game when your boy called it a night. It was 30-7 at halftime. That was a horrendous matchup last night. Even worse game. Congratulations to the New England Patriots for taking care of business. Congratulations to whoever at the Potawatomi Sportsbook had defensive Patriots touchdown or other touchdown score as the first touchdown. Good win on a Monday night.
If you had that bet, congratulations. But if you had that bet, we should have a talk.
We probably should.
All right.
However, we'll have a talk because I need to be knowing when that one's going to hit. You need to be giving us that kind of information.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But damn, you want to talk about a week-to-week league? The Giants play the Packers and Lions to nip and tuck fourth quarter games. And then their kicker literally goes like full youth football scramble on the 9th hole with his 5-iron.
Oh my gosh.
On his foot.
First of all, ouch. I kind of feel bad because that's got to hurt.
There's no way that doesn't hurt.
All right. I got to say this, though. Like, Younghoe Koo, you're trying to keep jobs in this league. Like, I felt bad what happened in Atlanta, but now he's got this other one. You can't be doing that. Come on, man. Younghoe, you got one of the best names in the league.
Is that what they would call the yips?
No, because he didn't shank the ball. He just
missed it.
He just kicked earth.
The best, not particularly close,
right?
He's a good. If you haven't seen the video, Younghoe Koo lines up for a field goal. I apologize, don't know the full yardage.
I don't have that.
But
number.
as he comes down to kick it, he misses the ball by a solid 5 inches. And now people can argue how big 5 inches actually.
Pause.
He misses it by a full 5 inches.
Bad. Now that's cool if you're golfing. We've all been there golfing.
Yes.
We've all had to replace earth golfing. We've already replaced divots.
I've been told by Chuck Garbedian that actually you want to hit maybe just a tick behind the ball.
Sure.
Because that's how you get that sweet scoop.
Boy, Chuck will give you good tips, won't he?
Good tips.
Yeah. Now, when I was
not part of the tip to hit that far behind and then actually not hit so hard into the ground that not only maybe breaks your toe, but also like he spiked his foot so hard into the ground it didn't even move.
Terrible. And you don't even know what is real grass anymore. Yeah, that's the other thing. I gotta say, I'm not in the business of describing memes on radio because it usually doesn't work. But there was a great meme of there was 2 balls, guideline for Younghoe Koo. Small ball, kick, which is a football. Large ball, the earth, do not kick. That's pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty good. I don't think of great memes, and that's a good one I wish I thought of. But my man, like we've all been there golfing.
Yes.
But that's because you're using a stick. Like you shouldn't be using that with your foot.
Or drinking.
Yeah, of course.
It felt more like.
What are you saying about Younghoe?
Later, that's more damning. Like again, when golfing, I think I do that once it hits like hole number 11 or 12. When golfing probably should be done after about 12 holes. And then I'm 6, 7, 8 beers deep.
Yeah.
Potentially 1 or 2 or 6 Jello shots deep because every other hole somebody has a different door prize.
Right.
That was a nice try on it.
I don't know. I
tried a
tried
better one earlier. Yeah, like that's when you miss the ball that poorly. My man on Monday Night Football striking the earth. Tough scene last night. Even worse for Jackson Dart and the New York Football Giants because they were putrid.
And they were. Maybe Jameis should be. I don't know. I'm just saying. And there was that big hit in that game, some controversy. It's a good reminder of how
there was zero controversy. Pardon me. I apologize.
I agree. Go ahead.
Zero controversy. My man's inbounds.
Inbounds. I agree.
Inbounds.
Yeah.
Trying to get a first down. If we go away from that, we're not actually playing football.
Totally,
Go ahead, Armin.
I totally agree with you. I just wanted to set you up there.
I appreciate
Young Wei Koo, remember, was like statistically the most accurate kicker of all time, like 2 years ago.
Yep.
So it's just a good reminder how things change. I don't know why the downfall happened for him. Maybe they should study it on like a 30 for 30, but that happened to like Vanderjagt and other kickers. It's the most mental position in football and maybe all of sports where you can become, totally, it's like you can get the yips and all these things. So it is what it is. It was crazy last night, but yeah, Billy, I mean, I don't know how the Patriots became this. Well, I do know it starts with drafting Drake May and Drake May working out. So Elliott Wolf get some props. I know Nagler put that out there. But the reality is, and we'll talk to him later, the reality is, Billy, it's a pretty impressive turnaround in Mike Vrabel's first year here and what he's done. Yeah. So I don't know what you're thinking about sitting around for the Titans, but he's definitely put his handprints on a quick turnaround, and they're a legit Super Bowl contender right now.
Yeah, and then you have his former team. You mentioned the Titans, Cam Ward, who's like legitimately dogging the interim coach and like, hey, man, I don't think you understand. You're not really allowed to do that yet. You got to get some pelts on the wall before you start ripping the game plans and everything. You got to get a little somewhere or something before you start doing some of that to the coaching staff. However, Vrabel, you're right. I mean, phenomenal pixie dust. Also one of those that you don't know if it would have worked anywhere else as well as it has for him there.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect storm of events.
It just seems like a perfect marriage, a perfect storm, but it's working to a different degree and a different level. We'll talk a lot more about the Lane Kiffin conversation as we get later on into the program. The interesting one in college football yesterday was that apparently now, not only will Lane Kiffin have to make the decision, Kalani Sitake, the head coach from BYU, is reportedly being poached by Penn State. Now, Penn State actually said, wait, we do need to hire a coach.
They've had a little bit of
James
time here.
Franklin,
What the heck are they doing?
And they're the last ones to fire. They were the first ones to fire their coach, last ones to hire a new one. Some reports are saying because Jimmy Sexton, who basically is the agent for all coaches, kind of play a little hardball.
Interesting.
Little upset how they did his man James Franklin in saying, I don't really know that I want my coach working at your school.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want my guy going to your institution for this one. Kalani Sitake, reportedly BYU head coach in the $12 million range.
More than Lane, right? It was reported. I thought Lane was getting 10. Well, we don't know what these guys are getting. We don't really know. It's all funny. It's all funny money anyway. It's like they can pay you through like a coach's show and these other ways.
Find all different ways to get the money for you.
But they're not hurting for money over in BYU.
Well, especially not for their football program when the CEO of Crumble Cookie,
I saw that,
stepped up. He said, maybe it's time for me to stop sitting on the sideline and start doing something. He's got a video of him in the locker room. He paid the fine so that students could storm the field one time.
I love
he
that.
said, put down what Kalani Sitake means to you. And we're going to send him some Crumble cookies and hopefully not a plane ticket to get to Happy Valley. We got hour number 2 rolling around. It's no BS on the game.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
The Packers are a win against the Bears away from first place in the NFC North. They're also a loss away from potentially being out of the playoffs altogether. That's how close the NFC is heading into Week 14. The Packers-Bears, when it's meaningful, that's kind of cool, right?
To be honest with you, I don't really put too much thought into that. I think that, I think it's a cool for the fans, and certainly when you have two good teams, and obviously Chicago's the number 1 team in the NFC right now, so this should be a great game.
Packers coach Matt LaFleur, this game was originally slated to be a noon kickoff. It's been flexed down to 3:25. To basketball, an ugly night in D.C. The Bucks losing to the lowly Wizards 129-126. Washington now 3-16 on the season. And Week 13 ended last night in Foxborough in the NFL. The Patriots clobbered the Giants 33-15. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
He bought my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, little fingers, never seen him fall. That gift of a blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, play across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby put me a letter. My baby put me a letter.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Sing with me after just for today. Never tomorrow, the good Lord take you away.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album at Ferris Borley. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all day.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a number 1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a number 1 album and his first number 1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a number 1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to number 1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is with you. The sun is a place
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
This is No BS with BIlly and Armen on Wisconsin's home for the best sports talk and other stuff. The Game.
Well, this is it, Rock, the season. Right here on this 4th down play. How many times have we said that on this drive? Rodgers in the shotgun, 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Packers need at least 7 yards to move the chains. Rodgers gets the snap. Blitz is on. Rodgers scrambles left, winds up Rainbow. He's got Cobb at the 10 to the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown and a dagger. Oh my goodness. An NFC North Division championship dagger of 47 yards.
Take those old records off the shelf. I said, listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco.
No BS on the game reaches hour number 2. We're not going to take you to a disco. We're going to take you to Green Bay here from Matt LaFleur yesterday at the podium in a few minutes from right now. But last segment, we were just talking about a couple of the stories of du jour in college football, which are not the games.
No, we don't talk about the games and the results anymore. We don't even talk about the
Iron Bowl
playoff
finish and Kalen DeBoer going for it on 4th down to ice the game and throwing a touch. Ooh, that was a dagger. That was awesome.
That was an amazing game. We don't talk about the pretty decent Egg Bowl. I don't know if you watch. I mean, I was watching that because I was, of course, not trying to watch the game. I was trying to watch everything else that was going on.
I wanted to see how many different ways they were going to show Lane and potentially Knox Kiffin.
But yeah, I wanted to see that. Yeah, for sure. I wanted to see, that little snippet of the halftime interview, the post-game interview I was going to get with, I'm forgetting her name.
Taylor McGregor. She does a great job.
Great job. She asked him. He's like, I got to pray about it. I haven't decided yet. But you're right, Billy. We don't talk about the game.
We didn't even talk about the game, but the game, Michigan, Ohio State. We were talking about what was going to potentially happen after.
Yeah.
Was Ohio State going to try to play the flag at the 50-yard line? Michigan players weren't going to let it. Ryan Day said, hey, Sharon, get you guys off here if we don't want any problems. We're not going to be planting flags. We're not about that.
And then he said, we're going to win with class.
We're going to win with class. And Sharon Moore just like as hatefully and spitefully said it to the locker room.
So funny.
And hey, man, kudos to Ohio State for their coaches for not allowing the players to do it.
I guess,
because there definitely was still going to be the swath of players that ran over there, and they had flags and they had all different things.
They wanted to do something. I don't
want to
blame
do something. And the Ohio State coaches were like, hey, man, we're not doing that.
A lot of guys have waited a long time to get a little revenge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
and frankly, it's kind of, I don't know, especially if the other team's not out there, it would have been even weaker to go and do it. But that's neither here nor there.
That's the thing.
Good on them not doing it. We like being able to celebrate things. More importantly, I've been talking and thinking throughout the break after talking about the Kalani Sitake situation from BYU, leaving the soaking money in Provo, Utah, because they are soaking in cash right now in NIL.
They
just paid for the #1 recruit in college basketball, and AJ is worth it. My man is awesome.
Great player.
Awesome player.
You saw him against the Badgers, yeah.
Sadly against the Badgers. But also everybody else. I mean, he's going to be one of the freshmen of the year.
No doubt.
Might not win it because Carlos Boozer's son is also playing college basketball.
Another really good
disgustingly good.
Another really good one.
I've just found myself scrolling on this damn Crumble Cookie site
Man.
after I watched my man from Crumble Cookie, who apparently is a big BYU booster, say, guys, if we say enough nice things about Kalani Sitake, maybe he won't leave. Then I realized he's definitely gone, Armen. Because do you know what they do at Penn State? You know, they do the "We are Penn State."
Yeah.
We are
Marquette. Oh, wrong team. My bad.
They wear white there?
No, at the end of the cheer, you say thank you. And they all respond, you're welcome.
They're polite at Penn State, is what you're saying.
So that's what Kalani Sitake is going to traffic in compliments and good heart and nice will and happy gestures. Damn, Happy Valley is the perfect place for him. He's definitely leaving Utah if that's the case.
Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. And maybe it was a little bit of respect for the process why Penn State hadn't gotten on the hiring. Like, I thought about that. Like, no, we're better than everybody else. We're not going to poach during seasons. Even though this calendar has been bad, which Lane Kiffin has been blaming the calendar, we're going to wait to hire our right guy, and it's going to be a guy with character and class. This is what every organization wants to tell themselves. And we all want to tell ourselves that we're different. We all want to tell ourselves we're different. I do think it's cute that my man, the Crumble Cookies guy, Jason, right?
Yes.
I'm blanking. Sorry again, because there's just a lot of guys. Okay, so Jason, the Crumble Cookie founder. I think it's cute that he's trying to tell everybody on Twitter, let's just tell him how much he means to us, and he'll stay. Like, we all like to think that's all it takes. Like, we love you. You're wanted here. We're special. You want to be part of Cougar Nation.
You want to be with
we
us.
all think we're different. Every fan base thinks
Have
they're
you
different.
not tried the new raspberry cheesecake cookie over at Crumble?
Kind of funny because Crumble cookies is sort of like divisive on the internet. Some people think it's overrated. Some people think it's awesome. And I think that type of debate is what makes it so popular. Because think about it, Billy. He's not the first guy to come up with a cookie. He's not the first guy to invent cookies. Okay,
He's not Mr. Amos.
He's not famous Amos. Rest in peace. All right. He's not the first guy to invent cookies. But the reality is he's made a lot of money on this cookie franchise. So it's like, everyone, let's just get together and tell him how much he means to us. Let's tell him why he loves us. That'll work.
And I'm gonna counter that with he's doing cookies different though. I mean, have you had any Crumble cookies?
I had one once.
Good.
I had one once.
They are
I get it. They're sugary and
disgustingly
good.
good.
They're good.
Now, maybe a little too overpriced. Maybe you're paying for the aesthetics and the pleasure. However,
bro, you're
paying for the name, bro,
You're
in
paying
that
for
sweet
BYU
box. But apparently, I'm also paying for Cougar basketball
you
and
are.
Cougar football here. But I did immediately after start scrolling. This snickerdoodle sandwich cookie sure looks good over there. Holiday tree cake cookie. Woo! Gonna have to be selling a whole lot of sticky toffee pudding cookies.
The key is there
to be able to keep Sataki away from the deep pockets of Penn State. But it is interesting. He's gonna be playing in his team, I should say. He's gonna be playing in the Big 12 championship game this week against Texas Tech. I would be taking the Red Raiders, especially if this does not calm itself down. Now, even though Lane Kiffin did, as you mentioned, good Egg Bowl, he was able to watch his team be victorious with all of the distraction that he was bringing upon his team.
Well, he said that's all he wanted to do. His number one goal was just to watch you guys enjoy today. That was my goal to do.
We watched.
Yeah.
And then we also watched all of Saturday.
And so did he at the Chancellor's house.
And then we waited until Sunday to be able to hear what we ultimately knew was just that he was leaving. He was going to go take on the Baton Rouge Purple and wear it for the Tigers. And Armen, in all of it, everybody has said some kind of piece on here. There have been 1,500 different analogies. I think Scott Van Pelt's is probably my favorite, saying it's like your wife saying she's going to divorce you, going to move in with the neighbor down the road that you actually hate but wants to stay until Christmas just because, you know,
for the
we should stay for the kids. We should stay for the kids.
Because we were together just because we got this nice tree. There's no other good.
We'll figure that out
in
a month. All right. You get out of here because I want to look at you. So everybody's had their different ways of saying it and looking at it and spicing it up and dicing it up and either defending Lane Kiffin, hating on college football, hating on the schedule. At the end of the day, and I don't know how you feel about it, Armen, there's one individual that made this whole situation what it was. And it's Lane Kiffin's fault. Like, if somebody needs to have a fault in the matter, we can blame this, that, and the third. Circumstances are there for everybody. It's like blaming the weather when you lose the game. Everybody's got to play with it. Dan Lanning also has to operate with the coach's schedule. Now, Dan Lanning could have had any of these jobs if he wanted.
That's a good point.
Now, I don't know exactly he wants to leave Eugene. I don't know that you necessarily should. I think that's a hotbed and a great place to be.
Of course.
But he was everyone's first call. So was Kurt Signetti. Right? Eli Drinkowitz at Missouri. People are like, who are you talking about now? Well, he was also up for the Penn State job. He re-upped and signed a contract. Rhett Lashley at SMU. All of these guys that some of you either have or have not heard of have all had opportunities to go somewhere else, throw the wrench into their team's success that Lane Kiffin did. Now, his team, credit to them, not wavering and still winning the games is pretty damn impressive. But you can say that it's the schedule's fault. You can say that it's the NCAA's or Congress because they haven't changed something up, or the transfer portal or NIL. This is one dude making a selfish decision who's done it time and time again. I don't fault him for it because I think I also potentially would have left. So might be talking out of both sides of my mouth here. But if there's anybody to blame, it's Kiffin. He handled it brutally, but he also handled it like Lane Kiffin. It's the same guy that got fired on a tarmac and got fired a week before the college football national championship when he was coaching Alabama.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about getting another job.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's like
Tigers don't change their stripes. In
yeah,
some ways.
you tell me who you are enough times. You can do as much hot yoga at 6 a.m. as you want. You can even have goats in there if you want. It ain't going to change who you are when push comes to shove. And Lane Kiffin is Lane Kiffin once again.
Yeah, and I wish I could disagree with you because maybe it would make it more interesting. But Billy, I don't think I can in any way. You said it perfectly. I mean, I think the interesting subset to this whole deal is that he's been kind of peddling that he's a changed man, a more enlightened, mature guy who's gone through changes, who's realized that there's more to life than just chasing the next job and money, right? I mean, this has been kind of his rebirth. Yeah. He rehabilitated himself over the last 5 years after dad died and all these things. And it's pretty clear after this that none of that really has occurred. And Lane Kiffin's been called many things over the years, and he's built a reputation for himself over the years. And they're all he has to be accountable for all that. He has to take responsibility for all that. If you are comfortable with that and that being your legacy, then that's fine. So just lean into it. Yep. Just lean into the reality that this is my legacy, is to be a nomadic guy, someone no one can really count on, and a guy that is going to be known as a quitter forever. There's no way around this. Now, if legacy doesn't matter as much to him, Mike Tyson brought up a good point to young lady. I forget her name, the poor young lady that said, who cares about legacy? We're all going to die. Maybe he's totally comfortable with this because he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do what I do. But I didn't like the fact that also, this is a tough thing. So I'm not just going to say, you know what? This is a tough decision. People are going to look at it brutally. Ultimately, it's a decision I made, and I'm 100% responsible for it. It's the schedule's fault. He tried to, I don't say blame's the right word. He tried to say, to throw Pete Carroll's name in there, Coach Saban's name in there. His dad told me I would. Coach Carroll said my dad would have gone. So in one breath, you're trying to take the pressure off you by using your legendary dead father's name and Pete Carroll's name, like all these guys. And then the biggest one at the end, Billy, he said, I talked to God and God told me to go.
Right on.
I talked to God, I didn't want to leave, but God made see, it's not my fault, guys. You guys are blaming me for being all these things. It's the schedule's fault. It's God's fault. It's my late father's fault. It's Coach Saban, trying to invoke the greatest names, trying to invoke the most prestigious names in the sport and in humanity. First of all, God, obviously, it's hard to have more respect.
He's up there.
More respect for anyone than God, to do this. And God told me, I guarantee, I should tread carefully on this, but it's just very smarmy to sit there and say, I didn't want to leave, but God told me to take
It's interesting to cover your bases with, as you say, some of the most prominent names that well-respected names we're talking about leaving in a situation. Pete Carroll definitely would have left.
Pete, yeah. Now, I want to be careful to what I'm saying because
also
famously Reggie said that God told him to go to Green Bay.
Yeah, but he was a free agent.
It's a totally different situation. So it's not that I don't think so.
Yeah, also the other different part is God also didn't talk about the 19 M's that were coming in his contract, which was more than anybody else.
And a nice young quarterback. So I don't want to sit there and say you shouldn't prey on important decisions and that you can't get guidance. I just think it was a little smarmy to say I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. And this was the toughest thing for me. I'm like, well, then you didn't have to do any of this. If this was tough for you and you didn't want to do it, and I'm knocking my headphones out, you don't have to do any of this. So he likes to paint it as an Ole Miss decision, not a Lane Kiffin decision. You're in or you're out, man. You can't expect Ole Miss to accept their second-class citizen status and just say, hey, it's cool. You can do whatever you want. We'll let you use us until you go to the next guy. I hate to say it in those type of crass terms, but that's the reality.
But it really was it. And as much as I don't always think the super Colin Cowherd-esque comparison to real life in sports, where it's always about a really messy, sticky divorce, I don't know that it always plays. This one I think plays perfectly.
Yeah.
Because it really is, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, while also then potentially paying my man Keith Carter as the whole for saying no, he wouldn't let me finish coaching here, but I understand. I understand. I do. I get it. I understand. I would have let me coach the team. I bet you would have, Lane. I bet you would have. I bet you would have also wanted Ole Miss and LSU to throw in that fat playoff bonus that you were supposed to get. Sure. If your team wins a couple of playoff games and go to the national title. Again, I don't fault him for going and taking another job.
That happens a lot in sports, right? I mean,
and especially in this sport.
Of course.
I mean, college sports, it is I shouldn't say only, because headhunters exist for a reason in business, where you actively poach one of the most important people from an institution who is under contract. One of the only businesses, definitely the only sport that it happens. where you're allowed to legitimately poach somebody else and without compensation to the other school. Now they'll pay a buyout of Kevin's contract.
There is a penalty. There's buyouts, right?
But like a lot of people want Kevin O'Connell as their head coach for the Minnesota Vikings because his team is ass. All right, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to trade me a first-round pick. Sean Payton was talking on Fox.
Yeah.
And they got a first-round pick for him or a second-round pick. So like in other sports, it's not comparable to, hey, we're just going to sun you really quick. In the greatest season you've ever had, the most wins any team has had in the state of Mississippi in the regular season.
That's crazy.
And Ole Miss is like, excuse us, we're going to kick our feet up here, bring Mike the Tiger. Hey, Lane, come on over here. And then also watching folks on ESPN yesterday talk about it while Paul Feinbaum, who runs the SEC basically, is sitting there waiting on television to talk about it. They woke him up to talk about it. And Adam Schefter's like, well, I just don't know. Why wouldn't you just pay him? Like, he's going to get a $5 million raise. I would have thought Ole Miss would have paid the money. Feinbaum's like, come on, dude, really? Right. You watch college football? Do you know anything that's going around here? You think they were letting them slide away for a couple $1,000,000?
Right.
This is not a money conversation.
No, that's the most amazing thing about it.
This is a status, class, elevation conversation.
Yeah, which is wild.
Frankly, I don't know. You totally understand, and we totally understand not being in the South, what all of the different layers to it would fully mean. However, I do understand it pretty bluntly, as if this is kind of what Penn State thought they were going to be able to do to Indiana. And Justin in Jacksonville said, coaching search at Penn State's been a complete dumpster fire. I would have thought you fired James Franklin. You already have a coach lined up. I think they pretty much knew exactly what they wanted. They wanted to go and get Kurt Cignetti. They thought they were going to do the exact same thing that Ole Miss or LSU was able to do to Ole Miss and say, your stadium fits 55,000. Ours has 108. Whatever money they can find you this year, we can find you every year. Roll over here, ditch that team you're with, and come and hang out with your new boo.
Talk about the legacy and the tradition and all these things.
And it comes back to the number one thing. Nobody was willing to do what Lane Kiffin just did, and that was ditch a playoff team with a chance to go win a national championship.
And that will stick with him.
High and dry at the altar.
And that will stick with him forever. Like you can't tell me your dream.
You don't shake this.
And the thing is, he's never won a championship. Not. This is his closest
conference championship.
No,
I don't
this
believe.
is his closest shot. So you can't ever tell me that your dream is to win a national title. You cannot tell me your dream is to win a national title, and this is your best chance in your life as a 50-year-old, and you're going to throw it away. You might never get a chance. You can't tell me it's your dream to be married when you're chasing a new girl every time. Your dream is to continue chasing a new girl. Your dream is not to win and get married and win a national title. That's my point. That's my opinion. I mean, leaving is his right, of course, Billy. He's doing it. He's choosing what he believes are greener pastures. But you're right. It's status. It's things like that. It might work out, right? I mean, obviously LSU, despite their dysfunction, is a great place to coach football. But he should have and the way he handled it, he should have just put out a statement saying, "Look, I hate to do this, but my dream is to win a national title, and I ultimately believe LSU's a better chance at it." Sort of like Bielema kind of did that with Arkansas, right? Even if you don't believe it.
He at least owned up to it, yes.
At least be honest.
And Tom Crean also said kind of the same thing at Marquette. Now, again, it's probably the hardest words that you had to hear.
It's Indiana.
It's Indiana. Sorry, I did it.
So at least you can follow the line of logic there. And then, of course, a raise. Like, when it's not a money decision, also, like, at least somewhat of a raise, people don't understand
Marty
that.
Smith goes, what does LSU give you right now that Ole Miss doesn't? Said, I don't know. We're going to go try to prove it right. Okay.
What does that even mean?
Okay, that makes sense. Joel Klatt said it pretty well. Lane Kiffin also not the best coach in college football. To your point of winning the title and the titles that he has not won at this point yet. He also was the only guy that put his hand up in the air and was like, hey, I'm available.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the best coach. He was the best coach that wanted a new job.
That wants to go.
He told everybody that he wanted a new one, and now he's got one at LSU, and it is a story around college sports. And luckily now it goes to bed, and we can focus on the things that matter, like the games, until tonight when the college football playoff rankings show comes out and they reveal their top 25 and we figure out who's playing for their spots coming up this weekend in conference championship.
One day, Billy, one day in this sport of college football, we'll care about the wins and losses. We'll care about the games. We won't talk about coaching moves and playoff structure and what rule changes. One day we'll actually care about the games in the field. But today's not that day, and it hasn't been that day for years to come. And it doesn't help when you got a coach clearly making a decision like right before the playoffs to win a national title that it's going to do this. It's like, what is the point of doing this then? And that's the first reaction I had when this first came out.
He wanted to coach with Mike the Live Tiger on the sideline. It's got to be it.
What? Yeah, I guess so.
It's got to be it.
I don't know, Billy. He's a different guy than me, and that's just the reality. He's a different person than a lot of people would say. Like, look, this is just who Lane Kiffin is. You said it best. This is just who Lane Kiffin is. This is who he is. He's trying to make himself like a more mature version of an immature person, and I don't know if that's happening, but
Scooter said it perfectly. Al Davis told me all I need to know about Lane Kiffin. Al Davis knew a lot about Lane Kiffin.
You mean Lance?
He did not like him.
I was right.
Called him Lance.
He did not like him. He went full Jerry Jones on it. 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
Miss an hour of no BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. If you missed No BS, you missed out on this.
If you ever have jury duty, both the defense and the plaintiff, they can pick the jurors together.
Thanks for that reminder. I've actually never gotten to do jury.
Twice.
I got it 3 times.
I got it twice. Once on my 18th birthday, and I went through the entire trial process, and at the end, they cut one person. I was like, of course I get cut. I sit through all this, and I don't even get to be a part of the decision-making process.
No.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I had it 3 times already, Billy.
Jeez.
What's going on here? You know what I mean?
I'm an outstanding member of society.
You want to do it?
Pay taxes.
I love that
You don't want to do it, Billy.
Yes, I do. Okay. I want to perform my civic duty.
I love that.
Everybody sits around and gripes about it.
You're right.
I want to perform my civic duty.
You know what?
Court system. I'm right here.
First
my
time.
wife gets the notification of the summons this week. She is complaining up and down.
Can you be her tribute?
I can't do this. No, you can't volunteer as tribute. I looked online. I was ready to Hunger Games that thing. Walk right in there. I volunteer as tribute. My wife's got 2 kids at home, basically running a preschool in our living room. I just make jokes on the radio. I will be the guy that potentially has somebody fade their hands, and they don't want that for some reason.
You know, I'm proud of you, Billy. I'm proud of that attitude. That's the correct attitude to have.
Be honest with you, I had to hold back from swearing a couple of times because I think it's bull. It's BS, like the name of the show. 31 years on this earth. I've been available for 12 of them.
Come on, Milwaukee.
They've only given me 1 time as the reserve guy. I called in every hour. I was so juiced. I was dressed.
Sure.
I had a fake briefcase ready to roll down there. I know you can't even bring anything in.
A collared shirt on.
Yes.
Look like Hunter Baumgart.
We're going to offend him?
I don't know that I have ever worn a collared shirt tucked in outside of in a suit. Your boy was suited and booted, ready to roll down there.
So proud of you, man.
To the courthouse.
Yeah.
Call in, automated voice message. The reserve jurors are unneeded for the afternoon of 4/19/24. Dang it!
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armen every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Pat Benatar songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Love is a Battlefield. Number 2, We Belong. Number 1, hit me with your best shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Hear more from Pat Benatar and similar artists now. Search for Pat Benatar on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Brian Adams to discuss how change is inevitable.
Many things happen to me. One thing that's been most constant about all of it has been change. Nothing's been the same. Nothing stayed the same. And whether it be working with the same people or not, because most of the guys that work with me have been with me the whole time. And that includes even the people that work in technical, in the studio and everything. But nothing stays the same. And, anyone that expects it to is mad and needs to get their head checked, because it's not, even if you try to keep things the same, it never will.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Brian Adams and all your favorite artists.
We'll be right back on The Game.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder-one.
There you go.
You were in Oasis?
This would have to be one of the top karaoke songs of a generation.
Probably.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like from the songs that everybody kind of knows. Most people don't know the exact words of it, but kind of know it. And in the foggy, groggy stages of like 1:15 in the morning at a college bar, this would definitely slap in terms of everybody is trying to hold up the $3 bottle of Busch Light. What saves me? Because everybody, after all, everybody's just wondering where they're going to go, how they're going to get home, who they're going home with, where their buddy is that they got there with. It's a good wondering time. It's a great early morning, late night karaoke song.
Especially if you kind of like we're trying to mimic that nasally tenor of Liam Gallagher, like that singing style. I can't, obviously. But listen, they were huge in the mid-90s. Oasis was one of my favorite 90s bands when I was like in middle school.
Oasis,
to have like
not
a
one-hit wonder.
No, they had Champagne.
Like most people kind of thought, yeah.
Oh, wait, they had a bunch of big songs, a lot of success. Very successful. You could say the most successful British band since the Beatles. You could say that. So, yeah, that's probably one of the karaoke masters. Yeah,
good.
I'm just trying to think of who else.
We'll leave that for the guys.
All right.
We'll let Drew and KB dive into
somewhere. KB and Drew heard that and they're like, "Oh, we got a topic."
They're ready for it.
Elton John.
They've got their whole 4 o'clock hour.
Elton's
does he count as a full band? Again, we're doing their deal.
You're right. We got to stop. We're doing it.
Let's flip this whole thing around. One Direction. I'm kidding. 877-79.
You want me to play a One Direction song?
No, we're good. I'm good at least. I don't know about you, Billy. I'm good.
I was singing One Direction when we were at the Admirals game a couple of days ago.
We can do
what it is. No, I think we're okay. Instead, we're gonna flip this thing around back to the talking text line. Our friend Ron in Dallas, where we wanted to go. He said, "Hey, Black Friday, my son and I went down to Chicago for the Blackhawks and Nashville Predators game.
Let's go Preds!"
And of course, a Green Bay sucks chant breaks out.
Cool.
Rent is due for little brother.
The rent is due, and I love when they do these Green Bay sucks chants, like at Wrigley, at like you mentioned DePaul. If anyone goes to DePaul games at Wintrust, at
the
United
UIC
Center,
arena that we totally knew about
Capital
before Marquette played there.
Capital One. I love when they do this because it's further fuel to the they, how it is in rivalries in sports these days. Everyone tries to convince the other one that they care more than us. Like, we're in your head, you're in our head. There's no better visual proof that you're in someone's head than if they do a Green Bay sucks chant when there's no Packer game going on. I'm sorry. So don't try and convince me that this game, like, you care less or all these nonsense. No, just be honest and say, like, this is the most important thing to you as a Bears fan for some time, because you've been bad for so long and you've been unsuccessful for so long, and you've been just getting, the belt taken to you for like decades by the Green Bay Packers. That's the reality. They've been such an embarrassing run of futility for the Bears against their quote unquote supposed biggest rival, that in the 90s, when Brett Favre started as the starter, they led the all-time series, Billy, by like 20 games. And the Packers have now totally changed it. I mean, they've absolutely decimated whatever pride this franchise has ever had, especially in head-to-head. The reality of it is true, Billy. They haven't won a Super Bowl in 4 decades. And what was the only thing they had going for them was like this hope that, maybe one day they'd beat how can you go 25 and 4 and 25 against your rival in the National Football League? That is so bad for a multitude of eras and decades and coaching stints. So look, good luck to the Bears. Not really, but I wish no luck to the Bears. But if they do beat the Packers this year, or they do beat the Packers this Sunday, or one of these next two, and they get a win, they're going to celebrate it like it's the most important thing that ever happened to them. My tweets have been bookmarked by multitude of Bears fans for weeks. They're waiting for this moment to come in and make fun of my nose and tell me that I'm like the prom king and I'm a dork and all this stuff. Great. You'll get one big win out of 20 years. Like, that's what you're excited about. And then you got to sit back and say, wow, I just celebrate like that was a Super Bowl because we couldn't win in 2 decades for an entire generation. Like, empires rise and fall. Sports radio stations switch formats in the times that they've had a win against the Packers. It's truly embarrassing for the Bears and Bears Nation. It really is. So it's hilarious for me to see these things, Billy, because it's just another example of their obsession with the Packers and their ultimate futility. Every time I see Big Cat sink back in his chair when there's another Bears loss, it's like Hilay's like, he knows. It's just his lot in life.
And you're totally not watching just for that reason.
Oh, Billy,
because you're totally not obsessed with it either.
But they will eventually,
totally not.
They will win one of these games, a big one. They won last year, but it wasn't an important game. They will win one of these, and they're going to celebrate.
They would counter all of what you just said with their last head coach was 1-0 against the Packers.
Exactly. They can cook the books however they want. They can fudge the numbers however they want. The reality is, their last head coach is 1-0.
Caleb Williams also has not lost at Lambeau Field. So that's another one that you can put in there. So again, listen, I like your side of the argument a lot more. However, I enjoy trafficking in the hope side going into the game for them.
Sure.
And I totally get where you would. Both sides should look at this as the biggest game in the rivalry since when? 2010?
Yeah.
2019, I would put as a pretty big tipping point.
Well, about the Cobb game,
to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say that one, right?
No, again, I was going to go even sooner, but you guys could go with that one too. Of 2019, you're coming in with a new coach, a new regime. You had just fired your Super Bowl winning coach during the season. They're coming off of winning the division, sweeping you, or beating you in the last game to then knock you out of the playoffs when Joe Philbin took over in Soldier Field. And it's the first game of the 2019 NFL season, the first time that the NFL had changed since going to the opening Thursday night format of the Super Bowl winner not hosting. The game being on as a massive spotlight for the entire NFL, opening the 100th year of football. And the two organizations feeling like they maybe went in different ways. Trubisky at that point looked awesome. They had just been on the doorstep of winning a playoff game if the Cody Parkey thing doesn't happen.
Absolutely, 12-4.
But again, they were going to win a playoff game if he doesn't double doink it. So we can continue to go further and further down the list, and the Cobb game's a great opportunity for it. But it's at worst the biggest game in the rivalry in a half decade. I think it does go closer to leaning in on almost a full decade because both teams have legitimate reason to believe that they could be the next for the next couple of years, right? I don't believe this division is going to be one that gets taken over for 5, 6, 7 years at a time.
Sure.
But I think there'll be little 2-year windows like you saw the Detroit Lions just have where you kind of reign supreme and you're clearly the top dog in the division. And these next 14 days, starting up on Sunday, feel as close to that tipping point as you can get, because I'm not saying Detroit has fully fallen all the way back. I think they're going to take a little bit of time to be able to recoup as to what they have. And maybe next year they make a run at the crown as well. But for 2025 and then rolling into 26 as the reigning and defending champion, feels like the claim to the North is going to come down to this. And I don't think you've been able to say that in this rivalry, in this back and forth in quite some time.
Yeah, I would agree, Billy. Absolutely, because also this division's been so tough. There's been a lot of like the contenders, and last year the Vikings, obviously, but that's changed now that McCarthy's in there. And you're right. If we consider these two teams with the brightest futures, I would have to agree with you. I think Love's first game that we mentioned in 23, when the Bears thought they might have something going in the field still, but it does feel different now, especially with 2 games back to back, sort of like 2 out of 3. Yeah, this feels like a watershed moment for both teams in terms of what this rivalry could mean and what this division could mean. But you're probably right. I don't see one team necessarily dominating it. But you're right. This is probably one of the biggest ones for a long time. That being said, to Bears fans, it'll be the biggest one if they win. Like if they lose, they'll say, "Don't worry, next time." It's about the future.
See you in 2 weeks.
I mean, how many times did we hear from Hub Arkish that the Bears won the offseason? That it was like how many times? No, I mean like respect to Hub, but it's like how many times did we hear like when the Packers signed Adrian Amos that they got the better player in Clinton Dix? And how many times did we hear that? What was the articles that now that Trubisky won the Rookie of the Year, this is the division in the future for the Bears, and Aaron Rodgers then goes off to win 2 MVPs. Like it's pretty funny how that works out, but I think your analysis is correct, and it's probably it is one of the biggest since then, and it's bound to happen. If you play this many games head to head, and you play this many years in the National Football League, and time goes on, and this league continues to exist, there's going to be times when the Bears will get the better of the Packers once in a blue moon, and it's happened so rarely though. It's just so funny to me that you still hear Bears fans talk, but hey, that's what this is. I mean, this is what a rivalry is about.
Well, that's the thing. Like I know, and as much as I have enjoyed as much as anyone just watching the Packers go BTA on that team to the south, rivalries are more fun when you are giving and taking, right? Like I think it feels a little bit more enjoyable when the games feel even bigger, and this game feels huge coming up on Sunday because it is. Bears are 6-1 in 1-score games, and I know that is one of your favorite delights to feast upon in trying to throw up the potential fraud alert when somebody's calling in of a potential fraud alert,
and the paper tiger alert for the point differential.
Point differential is a big one. I mean, but 6-1 in 1-score games is a lot of times what you end up seeing in a team that's kind of got a little bit of the magic carpet ride rolling. It goes and always seems to, the two are very much linear, and there's a causation with the two. They're also number 1 in turnover differential in the plus 17.
That's a huge factor.
So they dominate the turnover differential. Packers have been much better over the last 3 to 4 weeks, where they climbed from, I think, like 26th in football to now they're top 10 in the league.
They got a couple, and that was huge.
They're top 10 in the league in terms of turnover differential, but this is the number 1 team in Chicago. And when they take the football away, they win the game. But their defense, you want to talk about a bend but don't break, predicated off turnovers. They are banking on you making a mistake at the end of the day, and then Dennis Allen being able to celebrate over on the other side.
And that's one thing the Packers have been very good at, is not necessarily taking the ball away all year, but not turning over themselves. The Packers have been really good with that, so it would behoove them to continue that trend, obviously, going forward here. Leon said it's a huge game. Absolutely, Pops. You're totally right. I think everybody knows that by now. And what's up? Hi, Muhammad, as well. So, yeah, Scott and Aaron, good morning, man, on the NickLayLaw.com talking text line. When it comes to if the Packer-Bear game, individual win-loss records rarely matter. It's an on-field battle. The fact that this one is actually for first place in the division will make it that much more intense. Go, Pack, go. That's a good point. It always feels like because of the rivalry that any team can win the game, no matter what the individual records are, which I think it makes it more impressive what the Packers' records been over the last 10 years against this team, 10, 15 years. But you're right, Billy. It's been a while since one has meant this much, and this one does mean a lot. coming up for obvious reasons this Sunday.
Huge one at 877-794-1973. You can weigh in as well, 877-794-1973. Also, you can fire it in on the YouTube comments where our friend CJ said, is it bad I didn't care that the Bears won on Friday? Green Bay has beat them. Green Bay has to beat them anyway. This year for Green Bay, it's about breaking last year's trends, sweeping Chicago, and having a strong December. Go Pack Go. It really is about you, and both teams kind of control their own destiny. That is also what the Bears win over Philadelphia, strangely at the same time, was a benefit to the Packers because it gave Green Bay a clearer path towards the top of the NFC.
One seed, yeah.
Also, thanks to that horrendous team in Charlotte, North Carolina.
How about that?
Wow, what a terrible Panthers team.
Billy, you weren't wrong. That defensive line is pretty dang good for those Panthers, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They aren't awful. And Bryce Young through the rain, out-dueling the MVP.
Oh, I was roundly criticized for saying that win might not look as bad like as everyone thought, and I don't think it has now. When you look at this game, look, and we've talked about how topsy-turvy this league is, how there's no great teams. There are contenders everywhere. This is a wide-open year. That's what's going to happen in a league like that, with teams like that are good enough to beat you any given week. You just can't sit there and say, well, we should win this game. We should win this. This is not the way it works. There's no guaranteed wins in this league. And now you're seeing Carolina do their thing.
Even though, sadly, it's felt like the Packers over the Bears has been a guaranteed win for a number of years. Far from it coming up on Sunday. 877-794-1973. Injury updates from the head coach coming up in about 40 minutes from right now at 8:20 when we hear from Matt LaFleur from yesterday. Points spread moving a little bit in the Packers variety. A couple of injuries, though, to note that were clear hampering Green Bay. We'll hit on those as well as what else we missed in the NFL from this weekend. It's no BS on the game.
But baby, running after you is like chasing the clouds.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
The Packers are a win against the Bears away from first place in the NFC North. They're also a loss away from potentially being out of the playoffs altogether. That's how close the NFC is heading into Week 14. The Packers-Bears, when it's meaningful, that's kind of cool, right?
To be honest with you, I don't really put too much thought into that. Like, I think that, I think it's a cool for the fans, and certainly when you have two good teams, and obviously Chicago's the number one team in the NFC right now, so this should be a great game.
Packers coach Matt LaFleur, this game was originally slated to be a noon kickoff. It's been flexed down to 3:25. To basketball, an ugly night in D.C., the Bucks losing to the lowly Wizards 129-126. Washington now 3-16 on the season. And Week 13 ended last night in Foxborough in the NFL. The Patriots clobbered the Giants 33-15. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Well, we missed Peck. How do we miss? For the love of Pete! What's going on out there?
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, I'm happy to say, a good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean of Journey to ask what the last several years have been like for him creatively.
Well, you know what? I feel kind of reborn. Ever since, I got sober, like things have been really coming together for me in every way, in every sense of the word. It's like my playing, I feel like I'm excelling. I'm very ambitious, I'm very creative. I have like a little jam studio downstairs in my house, and I sit in there for at least a couple hours to 3 hours a day and jamming with loops and all kinds of stuff just to keep, my chops up. And it's been really, really great for my playing.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Neil Sean and all your favorite artists.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel as he reflects on the first official gig Genesis had in 1969.
Well, actually, it was at the end of the lane going to my parents' farm. There was a family there called the Bombs who wanted a band to play at their party. And truthfully, the people at the party really wanted to hear hits, and they didn't want to hear original songs, which is the age-old dilemma for bar bands.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Inches, 16 seconds remaining. Here are the Packers. Third down, inches to go. To Pater. 17-14. Cowboys out in front. Packers trying for the go-ahead score. Star begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneak, and he's in for the touchdown, and the Packers are out in front. 20-17. There's 13 seconds showing on the clock, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year.
They say teamwork makes a dream work. Hell, I had some help.
877-794-1973, the way to get in on No BS this morning. That's Armin Sari, and I'm Billy Schmidt. That's the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. If you call that, you'll hear from our guy, Andy Ludwig, over there on the other side.
Andy.
We're working all morning long, and that's where Scott and Aaron hit us up on the text version of the talking text line. Good morning, men. Appreciate that.
Hello.
When it comes to the Packers and Bears game, individual win-loss records rarely matter. It's always an on-field battle. The fact that this one is for first place in the division will make it much more intense. Go, Pack, go. Come on, Scott and Aaron. Firing it up early. And I'm right there with them. It does feel like this will be one of the more tense games that we get on the schedule. However, I also feel like, and Armin, maybe I make too much of this sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we try to glorify how tense and freaked out and paranoid and angry and we get during some of these games. This is one to be able to enjoy. Now, it will be much more enjoyable. Say the home team is up by 3 scores. That's much more enjoyable than a nip and tuck game. But just remember, this is why you're a sports fan. This is why you enjoy this kind of stuff, is because these games matter and invoke that kind of emotion. Don't be upset about how upset you get during a game.
Yeah.
Live and bask in it. And then call us up on Packers OT because we'll enjoy hearing from you.
Yeah, wallow in it. Feel the feelings. Process them all. You know, Billy, that's why we love this league, because it feels like we're saying that every week. I mean, we were going into the Lions game of Thanksgiving saying this is the biggest game of the year for both teams. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hyperbole.
Best thing is we get to do it again.
We get to do it again. And Billy, I firmly believe that we're so locked into the moment. We're a prisoner of the moment in some ways, but for good reason on this game this week. And we're going to be sitting here in 14 days saying the same thing. about that next Packers-Bears game, no matter what the result is. So that's what makes this league great. That's why we love it, is that it's not hyperbolic to say truly every game is so important and every game brings us on that wild, emotional roller coaster ride that keeps us locked in, that keeps us, so compelled to the performance and the result on the field, not off the field, not like college football. So that's what makes it really great, Billy, and that's why we love it. And this is going to be a great one. This is going to be one though to be nervous at, like the nervous Nelly, the market warrior that's Armen. This is going to be one that's going to be there's reason to be nervous for a game like this because it's a big one. So it'll be a huge game, but it also makes it a lot of fun
for the folks that are like, I hate how angry I get and frustrated I get during the Panthers game. Again, understandably so. That was a frustrating game. This is the one that you will be angry for. It's a Bears game. It's always an intense. It's emotional. It's a lot of angst-filled feelings on both sides. Now, I do think this will be one that brings in a little bit more frustration to the home side, and why it will be a little bit more difficult on Sunday than it was against Detroit is because both of the two corners for Chicago returned in that game against Philadelphia. Jalen Johnson alongside, and Johnson was phenomenal. Kyler Gordon was pretty good as he returned as well. And they shut down, albeit for the most part, two really, really good wide receivers on the other side. And one of the better duos, if not the best in the NFC, in Smith and Brown. It looked like a hellish day to throw. The wind that was rolling, how cold it was. It looked brutal to complete passes. So I'm wondering how much of that was the factor. Outside of it being 20, it seems like it's going to be a relatively nice day on Sunday for you to be able to throw in otherwise a difficult spot to maybe do it with the swirling winds at Lambeau. But that's one part of the Packer game plan from this past Thursday, which it was clear and obvious. In the gotta have it moments, they were going to throw the ball at the Detroit Lions corners to win. They felt like they had a clear size advantage, and they did. There's some small corners there for Detroit, including DJ Reed, who I really liked in free agency. I think standing at like 5'9", throwing it to 6'3" Christian Watson, a much different deal. That advantage the Packers won't inherently have this week. So they might be trying to run the ball a little bit more at Chicago, which I thought Philadelphia was going to have a whole lot more success doing, because as much as the health for the secondary is a lot better with Detroit or with Chicago going into that Philadelphia game, they were also missing their top 3 linebackers. So there's health on the outside, more replacements on the interior, and I wonder if that's ultimately where the Packers try to attack a little bit more coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Packers, hopefully, the Bears are getting healthier, so the Packers have to try and use all the weapons they have at their disposal on offense. Hopefully, they'll be able to. Hopefully, the running game will be able to set some of that up. And Billy, it's gonna be interesting to see what the game plan is for that situation, how the Bears choose to play the Packers offense and vice versa. But they are getting healthier. We're getting hopefully closer and closer to what I've been waiting for like a calendar year, which is a full complement of receivers. Like maybe we're getting closer to that. It's still a dream of mine that I'm trying to hold on to. So hopefully pretty soon. Diamond Dave, I work with a Bears fan. He's exhausting this year. Calls Lambeau Field Caleb's crib. Well, that's just, I mean, can they come up with anything less dorky, more dorky than this? I mean, Caleb's crib. It's Caleb's crib. Okay, guy. All right. You were the same one with the Justin Fields road jersey. Yeah, because you thought it was
at
cool.
Lambeau Fields.
You thought it was that guy,
I also I did just see your post of let's count the ways that the Bears franchise is pathetic.
Let's just count them. I mean, come on.
Armen, sorry, it is rare and ready to roll into Bears Week. Are you at 877-794-1973? We'll find out in hour number 3. We'll hear from the head coach on the Packers injury updates coming up in about 15 minutes. Stay right with us. It's no BS on the game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS. We'll be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Hall & Oates songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Kiss on My List. Number 2. You Make My Dreams. Number 1. Man Eater.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
Hear more from Hall & Oates and similar artists now. Search for Hall & Oates on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their 6th album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits number 14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time.
I gotta know right now, before we go any further, do you love me? Will you love me forever?
Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
If you don't go to the University of Wisconsin, you're going to end up eating government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Any carry now could be for the record. Bollinger under his center. Casey Robach takes. Gives it to Dane. Straight ahead. Dane across the 20. He's to the 25. Cuts right. Dane to the 30. 35. Dane across the 40. Dane across the 45-yard line. And there it is. Ron Dane has become the NCAA's all-time career rushing leader.
It's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And you still act like you're in freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should have my age. That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously. With many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you wish down on me? I never want to have my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? What's my age again?
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the #1 rock star in the world, had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal, or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
I certainly do. As soon as I get within range of Milwaukee, I pop your station on the radio so that I can listen to you throughout my stay down there.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Packers go no huddle. They've got a slot set up to the right side, the same on the left. Under center is Love. Single back offense. Jacobs thrown back. On 2nd and 10, back to throw Love. Has time initially. Rainbows deep down the right side. And he's got Watson. Touchdown, Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson blows the top off the Lions defense. Beat Amik Robertson.
Love being able to hear that, leading us into hour number 3. No BS on the game. Christian Watson takes the top off the Lions defense on Thanksgiving in the early stages of the third quarter, giving the Packers a 2-score lead. And frankly, one of the important parts about that TD, if you still remember from Thursday, if you're not in a full Turkey Day haze, at that moment, Armen Sarian, what was unique about that touchdown to Christian Watson scored by the Green Bay Packers? And, well, what was unique about that Packers touchdown scored by Christian Watson in that game at that point in time? It was the only TD the Packers had scored at that moment that wasn't on 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't and gotta have it moment on the 4th down throw in the late stages of the second quarter on the adjustment after the timeout to Romeo Doubs, the 2-yard score, and then the Dontavian Wicks one, which was much litigated due to a, well, whatever you wanted to call it. If it was because of the bobble, if it was because of the footwork, if it was just because Detroit Lions fans couldn't grasp how amazing the throw was, putting it right into the only spot that it possibly could be. However, it was a quick strike off a turnover on down, so 4th down still played a big part in that spot. Man, those pivotal turning point plays, the Packers almost won every single one of against the Lions.
They did.
Difficult to think that you're going to have a lot of games in which you have all of those things and all of those big plays go your way. But it is one to be able to have a little feather in the cap, knowing that, hey, especially in a game that it took every single one of those, you can make all of the plays required. Big to know coming down the stretch, because the Packers are going to play what appears to be all playoff teams outside of the Vikings in Week 18 to close this 2025 slate.
Yeah, Billy, absolutely. And you have to make, in this day and age in the NFL, margins are so thin that the outcome of games, results, legacies, narratives will be defined on job status will be defined on the results of those important small plays. So you have to be able to win those. You have to be able to have the things go your way. You have to be able to be prepared to compete in those moments. And I thought that was one of the big differences. I can't prove it, but I think that was one of the big differences from the Packers against the Lions this year than maybe in the past. They were prepared to compete in those moments. They were ready to go for the 3rd and the 4th in those moments. They were ready to stop a team in those 4th. They were more prepared for Dan Campbell doing it, and they were more prepared to go for it on offense. Now, that doesn't guarantee success, of course. You still got to make the plays.
Sure.
Jordan Love made the plays, made the throws. The Packers made the plays, made the important stops to the right players on defense now. We talk about Micah Parsons making a difference, but it doesn't guarantee success and results in those moments. It just reminds you that success can be fleeting, and sometimes we like to draw big conclusions from the results of small plays. And listen, that's always been the reality in professional football, and that continues to be even more so in this day and age, Billy. Amongst the other amazing things about this rivalry, one thing that always made me incredibly amazed, specifically the quarterback position. We talk about how the Packers have been great at the quarterback position, and the Bears haven't been. In a 105-year history, the Bears have never had a 30-touchdown throwing season. Pretty amazing. The Packers have had 18 of those. So it's just remarkable. It's just remarkable to think of the difference. The way the both teams have gotten done over the years, the Packers have been able to specialize in those roles. The Bears have done it in other ways, defense, running maybe. But I always like to throw that one out there.
Well, I like that one. Now do the 4,000-yard passer.
4,000-yard passer.
Because the 30 touchdowns is a great one. The 4,000-yard passer is one that, again, there are years Not much in my lifetime. That 4,000 yards was an unreachable goal.
It was a big deal.
There was a thought like, holy cow, if you throw that many passing yards, either one, all you guys do is throw, or two, you might be one of the best quarterbacks alive.
Right.
And for Chicago, as they still sit here waiting for one.
Yes, they still are waiting for. They never had a 4,000 yard season. Eric Kramer had 3,895. Jay Cutler had 3,800 plus in 2014. Now, let's couch this. Let's be fair that yards aren't the end all be all necessarily in the National Football League, but
somewhat
the Packers have had 18 seasons of 4,000 yard Packers. So the Packers 18 times in the history of the National Football League have had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns or more, 4,000 yards or more. And the Bears have done it 0 times in over a century of competing in this league. 0 times they've had a quarterback be able to reach any of those landmarks, any of those benchmarks, and they still try and pretend that they are equal in this league. It's in this sport. It's truly incredible to me. But 0 times and I said 18, and there's been a couple 3,900 yard jobbers in there from Rodgers and Favre. So let's just be real about what we're talking about here. We're talking about greatness, and we're talking about wannabes. And in the last 40 years, the Packers have proven to be the team that is greatness, and the Bears haven't. We're entering now the 5th decade of no Super Bowl championships for the Chicago Bears too. That's something I always celebrate.
That's a fun one.
I'm ready in 10 years at Geezer Palooza to celebrate a half century of no Super Bowl championships for the Chicago Bears. I can't wait for that one.
Man, that's going to be a hell of a trip around the state to be able to celebrate that and the fact that the Vikings still haven't. Because, I mean, buried in the conversation was that stinker that they put up in the Cappuccino capital of the world in Seattle.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, wait till we roll into Kenosha. All right, and give everyone that banner we're going to raise 50 years for no.
Listen, the Brat Stop is going to get tagged with some disappointment when they find out, and we celebrate that one. Yeah, they used to call it Sleepless in Seattle. Instead, it's now Scoreless in Seattle.
That's a good one.
That was a tough scene for those boys.
Yeah.
Wow, and you thought Max Brosmer was potentially going to be better than Jim McCarthy.
I understand why they saw him there with the Gophers and. They've had a tough go of it, Billy, and that's a great example.
The
Gophers.
That 4th down throw was one of my favorite things I have ever seen happen in a professional football game. Not only because I laid 12 with the Seahawks, but because you were able to see all of the thoughts going through my man Brosmer's mind. Sweet, I'll get rid of it. Oh no, I got to make sure I get it past the line of scrimmage. Oh wait. There's not one but 2 Seahawks standing right there in line of where this underhand pass is going, which legitimately appears to be the warm-up throw from the coach in 7-on-7 to simulate the shotgun snap. I mean, that was awesome.
That is so
awesome
funny.
thing to be able to witness. And credit to Brian Flores' defense. They were playing hard. Playing hard. I just had to be able to throw that one in there. 877-794-1973. Dylan in Madison said, that bleeping part, Armen Sarian.
Let's go, Dylan. I appreciate you, man.
That will be the first of many promos cut by Armen Sarian this week on Bears.
Gonna try my best to continue this and cut as many as we can possibly do because we have to get the trash talk warmed up. I do like this from Austin and Spring Grove.
I was just gonna say this is a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is something you love.
All about it.
There's not many things.
All about it.
There's not many things you love more than talking about like what owners and businesses and ownership structures and business of sports. There's not more things you love to talk about, Billy, than just general pettiness in sports. You love pettiness in sports. And he brings up a good point. The pettiness between Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson will elevate this rivalry to the next level. And we're getting some indications of that. Obviously, it started with the Ben Johnson. I enjoy beating Matt LaFleur in the opening press conference. But Matt is that type of guy too, that will find his ways to throw in that little edge of pettiness or that little passive aggressive this and that. We're seeing that a little bit more, and I think that's only bound to grow, Billy, as you're looking for some audio here, right? But that's only bound to grow, I think, as we move forward with these two guys. And I'd love to see it too. I know you would.
There's nothing better. I mean, just knowing how much they think that he's got it dialed in, just knowing how happy he was to be able to say this one and think about how happy it was going to make Bears fans.
Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, you're talking about 2 guys that are up for Coach of the Year awards as the season ends here. And to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
Now, is that going to be a part of the good, better, and best? Which is the other thing that is getting a whole lot of excitement for Ben Johnson, because I think that is what they do in the little cheer screaming, hollering, hooting, and whatever it is after my man rips his shirt off.
Right. Just to show off
breakdown,
getting the pump in. Right. Yeah.
Also,
and the hot dog deal.
Well done. He does look cut up. Looks like he's got a nice low % body fat on him.
Clearly been preparing for this moment like every other dude on vacation who's been lifting all year for that one moment where they can take their shirt off and feel like they're important.
I thought that was fun.
Themselves.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
You thought it was more of him just trying to be a little something that maybe he is not.
I'll admit this first. If this is truly the type of guy he is, if he's being authentic to himself, all right. Like, I don't know that he is. And you're going to have a hard time convincing me of that, but I can't prove it. Maybe this is the person he really is. I never thought of that. But, like, take my shirt off, flex, and scream, and keep that going for 30 seconds. He didn't just do it once in sort of like a joking manner like Kirk Cousins did with, the chains and Kirko chains, like as an obviously, like, ironic thing. He kept flexing. Like he kept sucking it in, like he was like on the college at the pool in college with the girls, just trying to pretend he had a six. Maybe he does actually have a six pack. Maybe he's that guy.
What you think? You think he's flexing the whole time while he's yelling?
I'm like, okay, the moment's over, buddy. Like the moment's over. How long are you gonna keep your shirt off and scream like you're a madman?
Well, you're not putting it back on. If you put your shirt back on, you're a doof.
No, it's just the way he kept flexing and yelling and kept it up and all this stuff. And I get it. And, he's not 40 yet, but he's almost there. It's like.
That's in the. Not as good of an audio medium. I was also more worried about what was potentially around door number 2 in terms of the F-bomb variety. But,
what does he have left for a Super Bowl? Like, if this team actually wins it all one day, what would he have left in celebration?
Well, you're not taking your shirt off on the podium, are you? I think this one would have been done behind closed doors.
I'm just saying. I mean, it was an extremely wild celebration. Now, listen, I'm not going to compare it to last year when they had Kirk Cousins on their shoulders in the locker room spraying water all over. Or was that last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember.
That was last year.
That was Darnold.
Yes,
I said Cousins. I meant Darnold.
Yes.
Gosh, I forget there. So it's Darnold. And I'm like, is this a little much for just beating the back? Like, I get it. We're your Super Bowl and all this stuff and all that. And you're excited about it. But, man, it just did seem like a lot. What was the hot dog thing? Chicago wants hot dog. Just could you lean into, like, trying to pander to your fan base any more cringe? Oh, Chicago wants hot dogs. Oh, we're so cool. We're tough. We want hot dogs. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. So all the guys I knew that were from Chicago.
Okay, hold on. So I missed the hot dog thing. Here we go. Here's the hot dog thing. If we pull it back up,
is
here
that working?
and I unmute it. No, that was my fault.
I know you guys are hungry for more, right? Itching. Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago is hungry too. The city of Chicago.
So can someone help me? Like, can someone tell me, like, what am I missing here? Like, what is he trying to do? Just be cool. Hey, yeah, you're cool. Chicago want. Yeah, you probably live in like Lake Forest, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guys in Edison Park saying they're from Chicago. Yeah, you are technically, I guess. Because you know what I mean? It's just funny. I just think it's funny. But hey, look, good for you. You know what your fan base wants. You know how to market it, and Bears fans are eating it up. Literally, they're eating it up with the Chicago hot dog.
Eating the hot dogs up, no doubt about it. Also, the living in the suburbs one, maybe my favorite knock of a fan base or a team from one that lives 2 hours away from the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, okay, okay, yes. Hold on.
I mean, our situation is
our situation's
unique, beautiful,
totally
and different. We'll just say that.
Totally different, but you're right. Now, I could say, like, if I lived in Hobart or something, or like Swamico, I understand it. But this is Milwaukee. Okay, I get what you're saying, but yes, that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
no, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right.
That's the kind of pettiness you need. You're taking a shot because they live 25 miles. You're 125 miles. But who gives a rip?
Who gives a rip?
It's about disdain and good old-fashioned hate.
And you know what?
And that is what we needed in this rivalry. And I do believe that both head coaches,
pettiness,
that are going to enjoy it. Because remember, now maybe Matt LaFleur is calming down a little bit, which is probably a good thing. Again, remember last time he was at even the come-ons at home. I mean, before Thanksgiving, the last time he was in Detroit, remember, our head coach was trying to fight a fan. Because my man was out there doing slash signs at our players before kickoff during the national anthem.
I remember.
Get this clown out of here. LaFleur was ripping the headset off. He was about to scrap. So you've got two levels of guys that are potentially
combustible.
Very much so.
Is that the
I
right
think
term?
both of them run a little bit hot. Both are a little bit smaller in terms of physical stature. Not saying that there's like a
mid-college quarterbacks. Is that what?
Well, no, but they're just like they're both grinders. They're both fighters.
Yes, I get
Neither
it.
of them, their athletic ability put them in the position that they are in. It is about working their asses off.
Right.
The amount of football intellect and IQ that they have put together.
Definitely.
Their ability to string together not only creative plans but also physical football teams. They both want to run the ball. They're both kind of mirroring each other in how they play. And I think they both want to, at the end of the day, get the last laugh over each other. So I think that's the part of where I'm forecasting, as much as this is all about Sunday and about 2 Sundays from now when the Packers go down there and return the favor in 13 days, or potentially Saturday, because now some schedules have it TBD, but originally was a Saturday game. Whatever it is, as much as the 2025 season will hinge upon these two teams, it feels like, and maybe I'm just being prisoner of the moment, Bears and Packers are going to be on top of this division for a little while and exchanging blows. And we're going to get a lot of potentially frosty handshakes and really good pettiness and disrespect on both sides, which is a good thing for us to have back again in 2025. I'm not saying we need to go full Charles Martin on the situation.
No, we don't need to go full Javon Howard.
But I am excited to see an old-fashioned Bears-Packers rivalry.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we're getting back to it.
I do think Matt LaFleur has the potential for this because I think he's aware of things.
He wants
I would love to see him eating a hot dog in the presser and like just someone just randomly having a hot dog. Like Aaron used to have the
Probably a veggie hot dog. I don't know that a real hot dog.
Well, it doesn't matter what kind of hot dog. I mean, there's meatless
Matt's
options.
eating a whole lot of hot dogs.
There's meatless options. The Chicago dogs had a lot of veggies. But do you remember when Aaron used to casually have the crushed grape soda? The grape soda at the podium after beating the Vikings.
But that was his favorite.
That would be a good one.
That was his favorite.
That would be a good one.
He loved the peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the sun chips in between and the grape soda. That's what Johnny still. But I think he's got the potential for it. I think Matt LaFleur does have the potential for it. And I want to give a shout to our guy out here. What was it? CJ had the Chicago hot dogs have nothing on George Webb's burgers. Cool. I like that. Yeah. No, Billy. No.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Totally, CJ. Yeah, totally.
They're good burgers.
I like Mike Witt. Ben Johnson is the NFL version of PJ Fleck. Now, I think I need to start adopting that one from Mike because you know how much I don't like Ben Johnson, how much I did not like him coming into the football season.
Yeah.
How much I wanted to be proven right that he was going to be only an offensive coordinator and not a very good head coach. My man is making me look very, very wrong at every step of every twist and turn. So hopefully the PJ Fleck thing can hold up. However, if we're going to go PJ Fleck, got to give credit to him. You want to talk about beating a rival 4 out of the last 5 times.
He's done it.
Stinky Gophers have held that axe.
He's done it. And the whole time he's not worn a hat when it's snowing, which I think is funny.
Oh, he's the worst, dude. Oh,
with the tie?
That game was
his
so
hair's
winnable.
not going to get wet.
That game was so winnable
Very.
if you could do anything on offense.
It was right there.
Cash in on offense. So close.
It was right there.
How awesome was Jackson Akers' catch, though?
Oh, my
goodness.
God.
Looking like a wide receiver tiptoeing around.
And as Matt LaFleur said, they totally got it right. I also like that it was good on Sundays. I mean, if indeed he got 2 feet in,
right?
He got 2 feet in. He's like, I'm making sure that everybody knows I'm ready for next year, not only this one. Tonight, I'm excited though, Letty, where we can hopefully celebrate and remember multiple touchdowns per game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's the first goal of 2026 is multiple touchdowns in every game. Setting the bar low.
That'd be good.
We start clearing hurdles, and then we get into more positive and wins and bowl games and hopefully maybe even a college football playoff. 877-794-1973. Matt LaFleur is on the other side. It's No BS on the Game.
Hey, pretty girl, might wanna close your eyes for this.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment. Drew and KB on the Game.
We're riding the K train. Kato Kalin joins the program. Hey, the Just a Bit Outside documentary from your friend Kelly Call and his crew was phenomenal. I've watched it a bunch of times. We make all of our young listeners and our young coworkers watch it to see what it was like with the 82 Brewers and why that team is so beloved. I'm just wondering, Kato, what memories did that bring back for you when you saw it?
It was great because first of all, when they beat the Angels, coming back 3 games in a row, it's phenomenal. Everybody, I remember going to so many games. Harvey Keene was amazing. The whole gang. One time I did an event, and it was actually when I was living in LA, but I was flown to Milwaukee when the Potawatomi sort of just opened, and I was a guest of a huge charity, and my seat was next to Moose Hawk, and I had the guy was great. He lives in Scottsdale now. So I stayed, we exchanged numbers, and we just reminisced about how great he was and how great the Brewer was just doing that entire time. I mean, Vukovic, Gorman Thomas, it was so blue collar that, everybody gravitates that this team has got to win it all, which they didn't.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
Love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. Don't you listen to what the man said. He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Queen songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, We Are the Champions. Number 2, We Will Rock You.
You got mud on your face, big disgrace. Somebody better put your bag into your place. We will rock you. Sing it. We will rock you.
Number 1, Another One Bites the Dust.
Another one bites the dust. Another one gone. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Hear more from Queen and similar artists now. Search for Queen on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to discuss why it's been beneficial for him to follow his own path.
if you went for the things that you believed in, you'd probably be with people that you enjoyed the company of, and it would be an interesting journey. So I think I've sort of followed that as much as I could, and now I think I have a life which is part music, part technology, and part benefit projects, and I meet all sorts of amazing people from very different backgrounds, and some of these projects come to fruition, so it's very satisfying.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Never had it all. One Prozac a day. Husband's a CPA. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24. Only been with one man. What happened to her?
No
plan?
BS on the game. 877-794-1973. Reports in for the weekend. Good on the hunt. Jonah in River Falls. Well, boys, deer season's about over. Time to go bear hunting. How about that one? I hope all tags were filled this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully
everybody returned safe and sound.
Right.
And hopefully some good racks. No pause being brought home.
Good racks or good meat in the freezer.
Well, all of the above.
Well, you want both, but
you want both.
You want a trophy or you want to live, Billy? What are we doing this for? Are we trying to sustain? Are we just trying to help our family? And we're trying to harvest and we're trying to eat. We're trying to get, or we're just out here for trophies.
We're also here for trophies.
We're here for a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I think that's fair.
I mean, like I think and again, this is coming from a non-hunter, so opinion probably falls quite flat. I think part of it is you definitely got to be able to show off a big old buck, right? This is what I grabbed. This is what I pulled out.
You don't show the deer off the doe the same way as the buck, right?
No,
Is that the same way?
But maybe the trophy in terms of male testosterone proving that real trophy, that kind of credit comes in you throwing down one of them steaks on a Weber grill.
I was gonna say
getting you some good old cross line patterns and putting that thing out, and the boys being like, wow, this is some of the best meat that I've been able to have.
Well, it is, and it's instructive, right? Because the doe feeds the family, but the buck feeds the ego, right?
That's for sure.
All right. Now, that being said, if you can feed your family, that might feed your ego too. So it can go both ways. So what's really important? And I like that. Is it about you or it's about others? And you can get fulfillment from others, taking care of others. So it's that whole thing.
Okay,
it's
let's
instructive on life.
Let's use this one, instructive on life.
Yeah.
Can it be instructive on football? What would a division win be? Would the division win be the ego one on the big buck victory, or would that be a victory over a doe that's feeding the family? Because I feel like the doe would just be all of these wins against, like the AFC South that the Packers got a year ago.
Or like playing the Broncos in between the two Bear games, right?
Good ones to have. Yeah. But I'm looking at it like last year, Packers filled the freezer. Packers got a lot of wins.
And they got what they needed, wins and playoff spot, right?
But in terms of our friends in the Cooley region who are going to join us for Carry the G coming up at 9.
Right, we got no bucks.
For a lot of our friends down here in the southeastern portion of the state, we only got one buck over the Bears, and that was off a blocked buck.
Exactly.
A blocked field goal and barely a fingernail victory.
Great point, Billy.
So, maybe the buck is the ego victory over the rivals to be able to flex and say, yeah, sure. As the Bears did last year, we may have only won 6 games. But we got your ass at home. Right? So that's where, for the Packers to fully flip the script, now maybe they haven't gotten all of the easy dubs they should, including Cleveland,
Carolina.
Becoming less of an easy dub, the Carolina game.
If you consider that.
Dallas looking a lot different now.
And it was a tie, not a loss.
But the ones I think that ultimately are going to get the buy-in from the fans, the different belief, and warm the cockles of your heart a little bit different, are going to be that big buck energy that you bring home and getting yourself a division win.
When you post that big 12-pointer on the internet, that's what's going to get the fans going. When you get that win against your division opponent, get those trophy pelts on the wall, get the bearskin rug on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think you're talking about, Billy. because it can be perception, can be reality. Feeding the ego might be as important as feeding the table in
That's
both
fair.
ways. So that's a
Yes.
good point. That's a great point. And obviously, the goals are different now, right? We're trying to win the division and get that home game in the playoffs, but the number 1 seed is out there, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about dreaming big? You want to talk about, not running from your nightmares? Like Pat Murphy was trying to win the World Series. We're trying to win it all. Fine. Go for then let's think about the number 1 seed. Then we're excited the Bears beat the Eagles. Then we're excited for the opportunity because that's a potential. It's out there in front of you to go get that first round bye, to get that home field advantage, and to try and make that run.
It's a possibility. It's out there in front of you. 877-794-1973. Packers going to have to try to grab that carrot, grab that prize without one of their best guys on the defensive side. Devontae Wyatt now lost for the season. Test results did confirm what the television copy, as they like to say, would have told us. That it's a fractured ankle for big 95 Devontae Wyatt. Matt LaFleur started yesterday by discussing the loss of Devontae Wyatt, how they're going to be able to make up for it on the defensive line, and what was different about Devontae Wyatt this year, because, man, before he was lost for the year, he was making a total difference.
Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
How do you move forward without Devontae Wyatt?
Yeah, it's tough, but that is the nature of our game. Certainly, he's a guy that is going to be pretty tough to replace, and I think it just falls on everybody else kind of raising the level of their game.
Will it be promote from within? Do you guys go look on the outside to add some depth there?
I think everything's up in the air, but I certainly think we have confidence in the guys that have been playing and doing a good job. Certainly, it'd be nice to get Carl Brooks back out there, and then just. I mean, the 2 young guys are going to have to get a little bit more reps with Brinson and Stack. And so, we'll handle it that way.
That is season ending, Matt.
It is, unfortunately.
What was the difference you saw in Devontae this year versus his earlier season? Seems his production.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt his production has been a lot better. I think he's played more than in years past. I don't know what the percentage of play time is, but he certainly has gotten more opportunities. And then he when he was in there, he was being very disruptive, both in the run game and in the pass game. And I think how I feel about that position is it typically takes a little bit of time, and it can take a couple years before guys really hit their stride. And I think what's unfortunate is he's definitely playing the best ball of his career.
What kind of growth have you seen from Brinson, though, the opportunities that he has had, as the season's kind of progressed here?
Yeah, I mean, he's earned more opportunity, and I think that's a credit to him. And I think DC and VO and Wendell all do a great job with that room. And so he's earned those ops.
You guys have had a lot more success rushing with 4, and certainly last year. Obviously, Mike is a big part of that. Devontae was too. Are you going to have to change how you rush the quarterback without him?
I think every game's a little bit different, but we can have 7 guys in coverage. It definitely makes it harder on an offense. There's just less holes in the defense, but every game's there's different challenges within each game in terms of just the matchups, the personnel, and how you want to attack somebody.
How'd you evaluate Melton's performance on Thursday, starting from the beginning of the game to the end?
Yeah, I thought he did a solid job. I thought he did a good job. It wasn't perfect. It never is going to be. There were a couple moments where, I think that he'll learn from and get better from. But I thought all in all, he brings a level of physicality and obviously his size alone, that there's a lot of good with him in there.
Are you guys trusting Jordan a little bit more with the pass rush to offset what you might be losing with the run game adds that Sean and Anthony bring, but maybe some of the lack of pass protection? Are you trusting more Jordan just to beat the blitz, the rush?
Not any more than we usually do. I think he's always done a really good job with that in regards to having a good feel in the pocket and be able to keep his eyes downfield, but yet feeling that rush and understanding when to, when he's got to maybe speed up his clock in regards to what the defense presents. But I think those guys are you saying that they're not doing as good in pass pro as they are in the run game?
It seems like they bring a lot of grit to the run game, but maybe a Jordan Morgan, he's a left tackle going inside, maybe a more natural pass protector.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the numbers fare or anything like that. I just go by what I see, and I do think that we've been a little bit more stout in pass protection. Not to say that it's, like I said, it's never perfect, but there seems to be a little bit less push in there with Belton in there.
What sort of challenges does a 1-2 punch running backfield kind of present? I mean, the Lions had Jameer and Montgomery, and now you get Swift and another guy.
Yeah, I think these two backs are really good. I think, allows those guys to stay fresh. If somebody's really having a great day, you can kind of feed the hot hand. Obviously, they had two guys to go over 100 yards in an NFL game. That's pretty rare. So I think it's a credit to really everybody. I think their offensive line, they've certainly added some pieces up front. I think those tight ends, they block their ass off, and I think the receivers get involved in the run game as well. So it's a collection of all of those guys, and it's going to be a great challenge because, I mean, they're the best in the league right now at doing it.
Does that change your preparation knowing you're going to have to look after two very different running backs?
Not necessarily. No, I think those guys are, pretty interchangeable in regards to what you ask them to do.
What's the plan for Jaden Reed this week?
The plan is to see where he's at the end of the week, and if he is good to go, then he's got to get cleared first. I know he's back to practicing, but he's ultimately got to be cleared to go out there and play in a game.
Do you think it's good for this rivalry that these two teams are where they're at as opposed to what it's been for the majority of your time here?
To be honest with you, I don't really put too much thought into that. Like, I think that, I think it's a cool for the fans, and certainly when you have two good teams, and obviously Chicago's the number one team in the NFC right now. So, it should be a great game.
You put any thought into what Ben said about you back in March this week?
Not really, no.
You give Golden a chance to play this week? Do you think there's a shot that he plays?
Potentially, yeah.
And when he comes back, so given Wicks's emergence there, is your plan to work guys on the field, just keep rotating, or are you going to have to narrow this down and keep a few guys?
No, I think, that's a good question. I think it could go a lot of different ways in regards to how these guys are feeling or how they're performing. But when you have a ton of guys in that room that you have a lot of confidence in, you'd rather have that than not have just enough guys to go out there and get the job done. So I think it can be a challenge, obviously, to try to feed everybody and get them the touches that they deserve. But I do think there's just kind of an unknown in regards to the defense when you're not quite sure who's going to be the heavy share target guy. So we'll have to do a good job of kind of managing that as an offensive staff.
When you look at the Bears on tape, what's the difference you see in Caleb Williams this year versus last year, aside from just having a lot more days around?
He's done a great job. Obviously, he's playing. He's kind of like a magician back there in terms of his escapability. I mean, they're getting ready for some of these games and watching the crossover tape. Just how he is able to avoid sacks and negative, I guess, play situations has been pretty impressive. He's obviously a very strong guy, and I think he has got great quickness and speed as well. So he's a real threat. He's a real true dual threat kind of guy in regards to his ability to move the sticks with his legs or make those off-schedule plays. There's not a throw on the field he can't make. And I think he's done a really good job of taking care of the football this year as well. So I think you've seen a ton of growth, probably as much as any quarterback in this league from year one to year two.
Matt LaFleur yesterday talking about Bears quarterback Caleb Williams there at the end. Matthew Golden update, as well as some really good stuff on Anthony Belton in there. Loving how much he has looked at right guard. And hey, another one where hand raised in air. Your boy was flat out wrong on Thursday. I thought you might that you were going to see Jordan Morgan in there rotating in once again, right back to the rotation at right guard. They said, no, here you go, big fella.
Your job.
Go take it.
Yeah.
And he played really well outside of I think he fell down one time, which again, it's going to happen. Like you're going to get beat. You're going to get got, especially against Aleem McNeil, who's a really, really good player. The false start that should have been a false start, but Matt LaFleur totally called a timeout before the false start happened. Whatever. Like that's your first start on the road in an NFL game. We'll take that every day. And to hear those words, Anthony Belton is going to have that job unless he gives them a reason to give it back. And physically, I don't think that he's going to. The Caleb Williams thing, Armen, we touched on their success in the turnover differential. A big credit of that goes to the quarterback. And Caleb was really good last year at being risk averse. He didn't throw a bunch of picks. Now he fumbled a decent amount because of the escapability and how much he was trying to run away from the pressure. He got sacked a ton, didn't turn it over a bunch. He is a big reason as to why they are dominating the turnover differential in the NFL.
Yeah, he hasn't turned it over a lot. The sacks were an issue last year, but it wasn't like he had a rash of turnovers. He has a good ratio. Talk about the efficiency ratio, touchdown interception. So that part is true. Definitely. How many risky throws is he taking? That's part of that equation, but right now it's working for him at least.
Well, and there's some that are just so wildly inaccurate that there's not going to be a chance, but he's only thrown 5 picks. And for a team that's got 17 interceptions forced on the defensive side.
That's how he knows what he has to do to protect this team and the ball and all that stuff.
If you don't give them ops, they're not going to give it away. So very, very important to be able to take control of the football this week. We'll talk a lot more about it coming up with our friend Aaron Nagler. We're going to still feast on, this is probably the last day of Thanksgiving leftovers. You better make sure you reheat them properly if you're still eating them. But we're going to dive in with Nags coming up at 9 during Carry the G. Little Detroit conversation as well. Flipping it to Bears week as we carry the G with our friend Aaron Nagler coming up in 20 minutes. We're back with our closing ceremonies after this. It's No BS on the Game.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
The Packers are a win against the Bears away from first place in the NFC North. They're also a loss away from potentially being out of the playoffs altogether. That's how close the NFC is heading into Week 14. The Packers-Bears, when it's meaningful, that's kind of cool, right?
To be honest with you, I don't really put too much thought into that. I think that, I think it's a cool for the fans, and certainly when you have two good teams, and obviously Chicago's the number 1 team in the NFC right now, so this should be a great game.
Packers coach Matt LaFleur, this game was originally slated to be a noon kickoff. It's been flexed down to 3:25. To basketball, an ugly night in D.C., the Bucks losing to the lowly Wizards 129-126. Washington now 3-16 on the season. And Week 13 ended last night in Foxborough in the NFL. The Patriots clobbered the Giants 33-15. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released. Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Don't Stop.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Number 2, Dreams.
Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing.
Number 1, Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another day.
Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a number 1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one, this one. Whoa.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you. Excited to, I don't get this much at all. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Okay.
Saw it online from Nathan Marzion and
All right.
had to go check it myself.
All right. Uh-oh.
Looks like Giannis
Uh-oh.
or the
Oh,
team of Giannis Antetokounmpo did a big social media cleanse last night.
Oh, no.
Now, like, it's not that he just like took
Marzion's on
everything
it.
off of a bunch of different stuff.
Marzion's on. No, he's done this in the
Like-
past. He's done this.
We'd go to Giannis's Instagram page for good dad joke. He's got 12 posts.
Took a lot of stuff off.
Deleted a ton of different things. Now, again, this could very much be a very disgusting, despicable situation where somebody slid into his DMs and said some outlandish and
Just wants to protect
said
it.
something about his family. And he's like, I'm protecting everybody. And just being completely off it.
His last Twitter post is from 2021.
When they win the title?
It was a happy birthday to Kobe, and then a tweet of him and his brother. Yeah, so it's not exactly a Bucks thing; it's everything, right?
Yeah, like everything swiped off. Everything since 2021 basically deleted, and now he's got 44 tweets.
Okay, so what's that about? Like, we want to try and do like some pop analysis on this. Is it
I
just
don't know.
is there protection? Did someone get in his ear and said you should have no internet footprint for your family's safety's sake? Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Seemed like he got a little weirded out when people kind of knew that he had moved his family over to Greece. Maybe that situation.
Well,
all I know is
he's so mad that he lost to Middleton last night. No,
could be.
Like he's deactivated.
Wait, why don't you guys send me to the Wizards if they're going to beat us?
He's deactivated his account many times in the past just to reactivate it, like when he wanted to do shutdowns.
It's an interesting thing.
He didn't deactivate it.
Didn't deactivate. Just and again, like didn't
scrub
clear off all Buck stuff.
Right. It wasn't like a Buck scrub.
Now, granted, all of the things that he is, the couple of things that he is in a Bucks uniform for are him holding up the NBA Emirates Cup trophy and him holding the NBA trophy and the Finals MVP trophy. Interesting. Mike Witt said on our YouTube page, obviously I want the Packers to win Sunday, but if we don't, at least we're not the Bucks. Yikes.
It's been a tough couple weeks.
Yeah, they're bad. Well, they were brutal last night, blowing a double-digit lead against the Washington Wizards in the second half and losing to the, at the time, 2-16 Washington Wizards.
Well, and that was tough because, Giannis played like the other losses didn't.
Then it's tough timing.
Yeah.
That's what that would indicate.
Sure.
If last night is the time that we decided to go on a full Twitter scrub and a full social media cleanse. Again, maybe something happened. I hope nothing happened.
Listen, I agree. However, you worry.
It is 2025. Inquisitive minds are going to think
and wonder, want to know.
And this is kind of what you start doing. This is kind of the thing that happens in this day and age when things are about to transpire. Again,
listen,
I don't know that anything is going to happen.
We don't know, but if you believe certain reports, it was going to be, how does this team do? How does this team start? Could it happen during the season? And listen, we have to acknowledge the reality that that's possible. That's why I said getting off to a great start with this young group was going to be important to energize Giannis.
And it was a nice start.
And it didn't work until he got hurt.
And then everything else happened. He got hurt.
And Torian
got hurt. Torian Prince had a neck surgery.
I'm telling you, the Torian Prince one hurts as much as anything. Obviously, that's the most important.
And now Ryan Rollins is taking 20 shots a night. My man Cole Anthony's trying to dunk, and can't.
Okay, but we can
maybe the best play from Saturday night, even though they won by 20-some points, was Thanasis with a nasty yam in the final minute.
That was awesome.
That was an awesome moment.
That was awesome.
I just there's so much stuff going on here. And I do believe we're going to get to the point where that I don't ever want it to get to, where this conversation is going to get so loud that it's going to bring apathy towards not only the team, but also to 34.
And some people,
I do think there are people that are getting there.
Yeah.
I think people are already starting to get there. And I never want that to be the case, because I want him to only be remembered in the greatest of lights. But it's just weird stuff. And if indeed it's going to happen, even though this is going to be completely contradictory to, I think, how we've talked about it for the last, 8-9 months. It almost feels like if something's going to happen, like, do it and don't make me watch. Just let me know what's going to happen. I'm going to get out of the house.
You don't want to watch. You don't want to know.
I want to go on vacation.
Just pay the bill. Don't even tell me what it is.
Don't tell me what it is. Yeah. I'm just going to give you my credit card and just
forget it.
I'll see it on the statement. I'll see it when Shams tweets it. But it just feels like it's coming, and it's going to be weird. I don't want to be there when it happens, but I know I'm going to be here.
I'm holding out hope till the grim end. Till the grim end. Everyone, let's do the BYU. Everyone tweet about why you love him.
Yes.
Everyone do it.
Everyone comment on this post and say how much you love Giannis and share a nice memory about him, and then maybe he won't leave. Like Sataki won't leave BYU. I don't know. It's just a weird spot. Weird one.
And then if it happens, you want it to happen sooner so you can start the emotional processing process.
Start moving on.
Not me. I'm not doing that. It was a bad night. We got games coming up. Let's play better and let's win. And let's get a streak going.
Let's go, okay?
Come on. We got KBJ back.
Hey, we're not going to win the NBA Cup this year, so we might win the NBA Finals.
That's better.
Keyword of might. What we will do is we're going to carry the G with our friend Aaron Nagler coming up on the other side. Great work, Luddy. Great work, Armin. We'll be back tomorrow. Skating at full strength once again. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. We will be back on the other side where we carry the G with our friend Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV. It's been no BS.